Ford's Jake Maier looking to make it back-to-back wins against his provincial rivals. But to do that, the Calgary Stampeders will have to find a way to slow down the Canadian Tre Ford, who ended Monday's game with 135 rushing yards. He has been a breath of fresh air for the Elks. We're going to get into this atmosphere in just a moment. But first, let's break down this game. And it really is all about the quarterbacks in this game. And look, Tre Ford is electrifying. We saw him use his legs in so many different ways in this last game. And then Jake really putting it together at the end of the game. He also had a great game against the Argonauts before this. But what are you looking for in this game, Dave?
Yeah, I'm looking for Tre Ford to be a little more consistent, maybe to throw the ball down the field, especially if they get behind in this game. Can he come back? Here's the thing that's impressed me about Tre Ford, among other things, though. He hadn't played that much football, right? 2 starts last year, 6 starts his last 2 years of college. He's had now 4 starts. He's thrown 1 interception. And I would not have guessed that for a guy who's thrown the ball quite a lot. We know what he can do with his feet. He doesn't have the highest completion percentage. He's coming off a game where he probably would like to have that measure a little bit higher. But we have seen him throw the ball. He's taken advantage of some 50-50 balls. There you see one with Geno Lewis. And, of course, you see the electricity of what he can do when he sees an opportunity to take the ball upfield. But for me, yeah, the accuracy and just good decision-making, because we associate bad decision-making with inexperienced quarterbacks. He's got some limitations at this stage of his career, but making bad decisions hasn't been one of them.
Well, there's a lot of people making comparisons for Tre Ford, and Chris Jones came out and talked about Doug Flutie. Well, again, at this point of his career, to talk about him as Doug Flutie, I actually, if I was going to compare him to somebody, it would be Tracy Ham.
Yep.
Because Tracy Ham was a guy that did it with his feet first. He had great quickness, great spot quickness, exactly like him. It took him a little time to get the kind of passing accuracy that he developed at the end of his career. That's where Tre is. Tre is a runner now who's trying to who throws the ball occasionally. He's not a he wants to be a passer who can run, but he's not there yet. And so it's going to be interesting. Jake Maier, on the other hand, has been an enigma to me.
Yeah.
It's like he does things at times. He's so calm and cool, and he throws like these flutter balls that just get there. I don't know how they make it, but they get there.
Right.
But what he did at the end of that game last time moved him up the ladder.
That was special. Yeah, and I've been hard on him, but after seeing that, I'm like, this guy he can be the guy. But as you mentioned, it's consistency. You know, you have to continue doing that. And you talk about Tre, interceptions, only 1, and that happened against that first start against Winnipeg. Since then, he hadn't thrown any interceptions. But for me, just go out there and win the game. I don't care if it takes you 200 yards rushing, 300 yards passing, whatever it takes for you to do, just go out there and win the game, because that's all they're concerned about. Did you win the game? They're not going to ask you how many yards you had rushing or passing. They're going to ask you, did you win the game? So that's all he needs to do.
This is a discussion we had in Hamilton, and we were watching the Elks and the way they were playing, and obviously they finally got that home victory. But watching Tre, too, he brings an excitement to this team. And what we said as the panel is it'll be interesting to see Commonwealth on Saturday and see if these fans really get behind it and if there's an atmosphere and a buzz. What are your expectations for what's going to go on tonight in this stadium?
As you said about him, he's a breath of fresh air, you know. We'll bring some fans back, because they say now, okay, we got some hope. We got some excitement. We have something to give us back in the stand, someone with some energy. So I'm excited for him. I'm excited for those fans. I guarantee you this may be the most fans we see at a game all year long, and a big reason has to be the play of Tre Ford.
Well, they're talking about potentially 28,000.
Wow.
Now, in the old days, it used to be 60,000 on the return game of Labor Day. But they played it on a Friday, and high school kids came. 28,000 to come out to watch Tre Ford, that's a huge number. And again, he's exciting. What is he going to be? Is he going to be, you know, who's he going to be? But I think the crowd tonight is going to be really interesting to watch, and the excitement and that level of enthusiasm.
Well, I think Milt said the key word, hope, right? And when you have a team at the bottom of the standings and you're trying to sell that to your fan base, you are selling hope. You're selling that, hey, we're not going to win the Grey Cup this year, but the players you see on the field are going to improve over the course of the season, and this is going to be the core that we're going to build with going forward. Up until about a month ago, tough to make that argument. You know, but they've become a lot more competitive behind him. There's been some other changes in the organization. You get the sense that there's a better feeling around the Edmonton Elks as an organization, and a win at home before a big crowd would move that forward another significant step.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. How important is this win? Obviously, with the record, you're not going to make it into the postseason probably at this point.
They
but
got a shot.
I know.
No, if they beat Calgary, it's not crazy. It's they're in a better position to chase a playoff spot than Ottawa is, for instance, even though their record is not as good as Ottawa's, but you look at the way they've played just over the last month. They look a lot more like a team that could make a push in the second half than the Red Blacks did.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy, but they've got to play better on defense. But those young DBs are growing up, and now they found the quarterback. Those guys get a little bit more mature. Never know.
All right, break out the friendship bracelets. We got ourselves one more game and the triple header coming up next.
What will Chris Jones be wearing today? That's the question, baby.
Welcome to the main event. Let the lights go down, and when the smoke clears, I'ma show you how. I can tell we gonna meet again. You leaving with a frown, me I'm leaving with the crown. How you like me now? Welcome to the main event. Let the lights go down, and when the smoke clears, I'ma show you how. I can tell we gonna meet again. You leaving with a frown, me I'm leaving with the crown. How you like me now? Welcome to the main event.
Thank you, Kate. Part 3 of Super Saturday is Part 2 in Alberta and the traditional Labor Day rematch between Calgary and Edmonton after that impressive comeback victory by the Stamps at McMahon on Monday. But the panel talked about this, Maddie, how there's a different vibe here at Commonwealth. We can feel it now after they finally ended that long home drought a couple of weeks ago against Ottawa. More optimism for the future, and the face of the optimism has to be Trey Ford.
No question. Coming in here, we too felt that. And I think everybody's feeling it across the country now. And that young man is the straw that stirs the drink right there. He can make it happen. And he's 3-4 career, 2-2 this season. He's got this team built. He's got them believing. He's got them hoping and dreaming. And this cat right here, I tell you, Jake Maier, boy, he's like a Ferrari, man. When he's humming, he is smooth and he is fast, and he likes to work fast. What a great fourth quarter he had last week in that comfort behind victory. Jake Maier is figuring it out along with Trey Ford.
His head coach, Dave Dickinson, is not used to losing seasons. He's never had one as head coach in Calgary, but has enjoyed a great record against Edmonton, 14-3 against them since he took over as head coach in 2016. And for Chris Jones, he has yet to beat the Stampeders since coming back to Edmonton last season, but after starting 0-9 in 23, the Elks have won 2 of their last 3, hoping to make it 2 straight victories, no less, at home at Commonwealth after finally breaking the long drought against the Ottawa Red Blacks a couple of weeks ago. And Edmonton won the toss, and they deferred, so they're going to give Calgary the football. Matty, you're not liking that call.
I'm not liking that call at all. Nope. You got a guy out there, Trey Ford. Everybody's here to see that kid play some ball and put some points on the board. Give him the rock, give him a chance. Get it started. Be offensive. Don't put yourself on defense right away. Come on.
And you got an explosive returner in Tommy Lee Lewis back there for Calgary. The Labor Day rematch at Commonwealth. Underway and a booming kick. What? All the back into the end zone there for Lewis. He's going to try to run it out. Might want to think otherwise, as he does, and he puts his team to start this game in a real hole back at the 1.
And that is just an incredible turnaround from what Dean Faithful typically does. He averages 55.5 yards per kickoff, and he line drive this right over Tommy's head, and boy, he's in a world of hurt here. Maybe this was a plan all along. Break out the bazooka right leg of Dean Faithful, which we haven't seen all season long. Maybe Boris Beatty. We saw that earlier today. But, wow, that was unexpected right there. Big-time play by the Edmonton Elks special teams off the hop.
And there's a look at their special teams coordinator, Mark Kellum. A decision not to give up the point by Lewis, but look where they start for Jake Maier. First possession right at their 1. It's out to Colton Hunchak, who picks up about 3 yards in that pass play off to the left, taken down by Adam Konar. Second down coming up.
Yeah, that's what you got to do out there. Jake Maier, his numbers, Labor Day game. That was amazing. One you don't see there is his 5-yard touchdown run in that fourth quarter, too, huh? Anything Trey can do, Jake can do better. Well, that was a heck of a fourth quarter. Dave Dixon, he knows all about it. He believes in that young kid. He's a gunslinger. He's got a Bo Levi type of mentality, and we saw it last week.
They were down 15 points to start the fourth at McMahon on Monday, and they came back and won it. So now, second down, they're pinned deep. And talk about Maier running. He takes off and he slides, and he does have the first down, so they get themselves a bit of space after starting off in that difficult spot in the field.
Yes, Resna goes out here, taking inside moves. There's a big lane there, and Jake says, yeah, I'll take this. You didn't see me go in the fourth quarter, scooting for 5 yards and a touchdown. 5 yards, 5 yards. 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 5 yards, 5 yar That's a 9-yard run right there. Big time first down. You're backed up like that in your own end. Smart play by Jake Mayer.
Gets it up to the 13 after that 9-yard run for Jake Mayer and a first down for the Stampeders. Part 3 of the triple header here on TSN just underway at Commonwealth Stadium. Glad you could join us. Little play fake there to Kadeem Carey and throwing it off to his right to Reggie Begelton, the Stamps' leading receiver. Gets it up across to about the 17 on that play as we take a look at the starting offense for the Stamps.
Yeah, I got Brendan Weldon highlighted, making a second career start from Sac State. I originally got him highlighted because he's going up against A.C. Leonard and Jake Ceresna all night. Markeith Ambles brings some toughness to this receiving core, and Kadeem Carey, we're just looking for him to stay healthy and break out. Only 33 touches on the season so far.
Gain of 4, 2nd and 6, Calgary 17 from there. And he dumps it off to Carey, who's taken down right at the 20, shy of first down yardage. He picked up 4, punting unit, Matty, coming on.
Nice play by McLaren there in open field. Kadeem Carey's going to check down. He got a dig. Begelton's open right there. He checks it down. Not going to take a chance and trying to hit that dig to Reggie Begelton, leading receiver. On the Stamps, checks it down. A nice open field tackle by McLaren.
So should be good field position for the Elks to start this game on offense. Cody Grace punting it away from his 10. He's got a leg, though, and a good punt here. 53 yards for C.J. Mills. And a flag comes out with the no yards. So that much better for the Elks. 15 more, and Trey Ford ran for 135 yards. Record for a Canadian quarterback on Monday. What's he have in store against this Calgary defense coming up here on the CFL on TSN? In his second year at the University of Waterloo, Trey Ford, and his 5th start, Matty, this season. What a show he put on in a losing cause at McMahon on Monday.
Yeah, and say goodbye to 134 yards, Russ Jackson, and a Canadian rushing record that held for a long time, Russ. And you got a young man here that earned that last week. And he's trying to figure it out on the fly, and I know you're looking at him, too, enjoying what you're seeing.
First down, first possession for the Elks in this one. Handing off to Kevin Brown, the feature running back. His last game had 12 for 89 yards at McMahon, a pickup of 7.
Yeah, I think Brett Boyko settling in fine in the right tackle spot for the Elks. They're happy to have him. And we got Kevin Brown, who brings it to a man. Everybody talks across the league how powerful a runner he is, explosive. And Kyron Moore did a little something, did a little best impersonation of A.J. Ouellette last week, throwing him a touchdown pass. Loved every bit about that. That guy's special talent, man. Just give him the football, get some yaks.
How about that Labor Day Monday in the double passes? Will Hamilton in Calgary. And it's back to Brown. Call it 6 before, but enough here on this second straight carry to pick up a first down as the sticks will move. A gain of 7 more yards for Brown.
Yeah, Julian Hauser got him highlighted as he puts a lot of pressure on quarterbacks. Not maybe in the sack department as much, but boy, he puts a lot of pressure on him, hurrying him, throwing him, getting him out of the pocket. More about him later on. Cam Judge, we'll talk about him spying. Trey Ford, he draws that card today. And Trey Roberson, boy, he's good as they come in the Canadian Football League. Lockdown cornerback for Calgary. Secondary, that's seen a lot of changes again today.
So down to the 45 of the Calgary Stampeders. Kevin Brown again, 3rd straight carry, breaking through, and he is gone. 45-yard touchdown run. How about that start for the Edmonton Elks back home at Commonwealth?
Chris Jones knew exactly what he did by winning the toss and deferring and having faithful down in the end zone. Have a good defensive stop, get a short field, no yards. Next thing you know, bing, bam, boom, Kevin Brown, explosive play. Second most explosive plays by running backs in the league, only behind A.J. Ouellette for Toronto. Has 5 coming in this ball game. Had a 65-yard run right here in this football field on that crazy game against the Bombers several weeks back. But Kevin Brown showing you his ability to light it up.
And that one against Winnipeg was the first play from scrimmage when he took it to the house. This one, 3 plays, 58 yards, all runs by Kevin Brown, who takes that third one in 45 yards for the touchdown and an early lead for the Elks at home here in Edmonton. The Labor Day rematch. Edmonton hasn't won this particular game since 2018. Trying to change that today. Good start. 3 running plays to Kevin Brown, and the Elks have the lead in this game, Matty.
Incarnate Ward making it happen right there. Watch this here. You're going to get a nice job by Focal pulling out here. You're going to double right here, and then you get Tanner's going to step out here and come back up in the hole, make a block, and Kevin Brown's off to the races, and nobody's going to catch him. He's one of those backs you just want to see get in open field because it's lights out once he does. He's running away from everybody. He started gearing down about to 10. That's fun to watch. Kevin Brown, Incarnate Ward, his football team's winning 2 today. So, good day all around for the Brown family.
Dean Faithful with the kickoff. As Matty was talking about, raving about that opening one that went into the end zone. This time coming back inside the 20 as Tommy Lee Lewis has that return. A flag coming out as he got it up to about the 35. And this was Mayer back on Labor Day Monday. A really impressive fourth quarter.
It was. And
turn the return. Holding. Calgary, number 42.
Earlier in the week, I called him Ferrari. Where's that from? I said, dude, he's smooth. You're fast. You like to work fast, and he does. And he worked fast in that fourth quarter. So 15 points. Took one in on his legs, too. 13 of 15. That's just, that's being on fire, Rod.
So we're going with the Ford versus Ferrari theme here.
That's what I'm going for right now. Ford versus Ferrari.
I got you. A penalty holding one on the return, though, puts it back to the 13. But biggest fourth quarter comebacks as you look in the history of this Labor Day rivalry. And Jake Mayer right up there. Jackie Parker, old mentor of yours.
Yes, yes.
That, by the way, includes the Ryder rivalry as well. Kadeem Carey, ball carrier, and gets pushed back after he gets it up across the 20.
A.C. Leonard, I highlighted him because he's licking his lips. You know, he is going up against a guy making a second start. And Weldon, he's got 10 sacks, second in the league. Morgan, yeah, I got Niles. Why? Because, hey, his team won today. Notre Dame put it on him. And Lucha's Purifoy. He is, you talk about Trey Ford, the straw that stirs the drink for the offense on the Elks. Lucha's Purifoy is that guy for their defense. Sure has been. And back in the lineup at safety, as you talked about at the Calgary 23, now is 2nd and 5 after that 5-yarder picked up by Carey. And then throwing and knocked away. The intended receiver was Markin Michel, but it's Marcus Lewis who had an interception last week. Flags do come out, though. Yeah, I thought it was a tremendous break on the football. Beat Markin there. Lewis just broke on the ball, reading the mail, and jumped on it. Right here's the play. It's going to be a slant.
Offensive pass interference. Calgary.
Yeah.
That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Yeah, because of that jump. Bang, he's coming out of it. Markin actually kind of drifted. It wasn't like a slant. It was almost like a sloppy hitch route, and he kind of drifted. It made it a lot easier for Lewis to make that play. He actually had to interfere with the defender to stop it from being a pick six.
So they decline it. And so Grace once again standing around his 10 to get this one away. High booming kick. TJ Mills right near the sideline. Punt of 51, not much of a return. Good punt by Grace, and we haven't seen Trey Ford throw a pass yet. He hasn't had to. 3 running plays leading to that 1 touchdown lead. How do you stop Trey Ford when he's running the football? A task for the Calgary defense and Cam Judge, is it ever? Let's go downstairs and say hello to Ryan Rishaug. Ryan?
Yeah, Rod, I asked Cam Judge that very question. He said, boy, did we ever treat him different the back half of the game than we did the front half of the game. And the video goes to show, look, early on in the game, they thought we can be aggressive. He said a few times They went straight at him, and there was a price to be paid for going straight at him. They got burned multiple times. Happened a bunch of times, and to Judge specifically, he said, we learned if you think you're going to put a big hit on this guy, forget it. So then you go into the back half of the game, and you can see this is a much more conservative approach. It was less about the big hit and more about containing. That's just the way you got to play that can move the way that Tre Ford can move. So look for this tonight. We haven't seen him run yet, but when he does, they'll be ready, and they'll be a little more conservative, guys.
And they've certainly, Ryan, had their experience worrying about running quarterbacks. Remember Judge and Dustin Crum of Ottawa in that crazy overtime game at McMahon.
Poor guy's lost 10 pounds chasing these young quarterbacks around this season.
Pressure's coming in. Dozier nearly gets to Ford, but Ford gets away, and he throws his first pass of the game off to the sideline for Geno Lewis, and a flag comes out.
Cam did not look good walking back to the huddle there.
Illegal participation, Edmonton, number 87. It's a 10-yard penalty.
Yeah.
Repeat first down.
Yeah, so that's Geno Lewis, star receiver acquisition this offseason, and he steps out of bounds, comes back in. You can't do it, but watch Tre do his magic here. It's a perfect example. You think he got contained? No, because Tre's going to get a little, get a lot, and here you see the out and back, and it's a good call, easy call for the official.
Lewis stepped out of bounds, stepped back in, made the catch, but of course it doesn't count.
Good catch, great play.
Yeah, it was, but
I guess 65 yards is just not wide enough.
Not always, although Geno Lewis has certainly tested that to a lot of success too. So 1st and 20, and in the hands of Kyron Moore, who threw a touchdown pass at McMahon on Labor Day Monday to Stephen Dunbar.
Looked like he'd done it before too.
Sure did.
Yeah. That's Nick Taylor coming up making an open field tackle on Kyron Moore. Made that look easy. That's open field on this guy. Didn't get anything. I thought he was going for a lot more than that because there's a lot of space. Nick Taylor came up and really broke down beautifully. Made a heck of an open field tackle.
Kyron Moore used to be, of course, with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, a gain of 1. So a 2nd and 19 at the Edmonton 34. And they run a draw. Kevin Brown. Pushing his way through, and a good pickup. Not enough for a first down. He gets up near the 50, though, so improves the field position at the very least as they get set to punt it away after a gain of 14 yards.
Yeah, this is really good patience by Tre Ford. If given the football, fakes the pass, lets his offensive lineman get up to the second level. You can see Foku just destroying Judge because that's a mismatch. You got 320 pounds against 220 pounds. And the next thing you know, you got Kevin Brown in your secondary.
Tommy Lee Lewis averaging just under 15 yards a return, a longest of 54. This is first CFL season, and he is standing back for this punt by Jake Julian. He comes up to the 20 to get it after a punt of 39, and he's out of bounds at the 30, just across. So back comes Jake Mayer for another Calgary possession with the Stampeders on the Labor Day rematch, trailing right now. It is 7-0 for the Edmonton Elks here at Commonwealth. Long history between these two Alberta teams in Edmonton and Calgary, including the Labor Day rematch. Since 1989, we're not quite going back to the Matt Dunnigan days here, but Calgary, a narrow margin, 18-15 there, although more recent history does favor the Stampeders, Matt.
How about that 56-28 win last year coming back on the tail end of that one? It's a tough turnaround. We talked about it in the earlier games. These teams really sucking it up. What Toronto did today was really impressive with short rest.
Deep look over the middle, and it is caught as well for the Stampeders, and a big pickup there from Markeith Ambles. So he was flipping the field in a hurry, man.
Yeah, he's game time decision. Smart Keith doing it. He's just running up through zone, uncovered. Are you kidding me? That's a good way to start the game. Yeah, he was a game-time decision. Just really beat up from 7 catches last week. That's a 35-yarder there. Flips the field. Big pickup.
He had 7 catches for 76 yards on Monday at McMahon. So big first down inside the 45. And that goes to Levante Bellamy, the ball carrier, his first touch in this game.
Yeah. try to share the load like a lot of running backs and teams do across the league between Bellamy and Carey now, as Mills is out of this football game. It's kind of hard to believe because he had such a good game last week.
Well, and he had the winning touchdown.
Yeah, and it's like he looked pretty healthy, but just shows you how much those guys are sucking it up.
Bellamy again after the pickup of 5, and he gets it down for what looks like, yes, a first down for the Stampeders towards the 30.
Yeah, first-year player from Western Michigan, only 15 touches coming in. He's got 2 back-to-back, moving the sticks. Calgary's got something going here after that initial drive by Edmonton. Big play by Kevin Brown. They're trying to get back in this.
Big play of their own from Jake Bear to Markeith Ambles to get them down in the Edmonton zone. They're down at the 31 right now. First and 10. Oh, snap goes away. Bellamy falls on the ball. Lost yardage for the Stampeders, but they still do have it.
Yeah, it's a little trickery. I think trying to do a direct snap, and the ball was high, and Bellamy's supposed to catch it and go to his left. As you can see, everybody pulling. Everybody's going this way. Everybody's going that way, and Bellamy's going to come around here right in front of the quarterback. The ball is snapped high, and he can't handle it. Jake would have had a hard time handling that if Bellamy wasn't there.
And that is a loss of 11 yards, pushing them back to the Edmonton 42, and a 2nd and 21 all of a sudden for the Stampeders. Mayer over the middle. Reggie Begelton with some of it back to get back to the 30. So a pickup of 12, of course not nearly enough, but sets up Rene Paredes a little bit better after the Begelton catch. Paredes, who was 4 for 4 last week in the Labor Day game, actually on Monday.
Yeah, and Rod, Begelton checking it down here. He's got a dig coming over the top, and he's just the underneath route here. Checking, he's going to be an outlet for Mayer. Jake feels pressure by Achenbong, and he's got to check it down, and Begelton got what he could. Gives Rene Paredes an opportunity for a little chip shot.
He was 4 for 4 Monday, longest 48. This one 37 out. And Rene Paredes hits another field goal, and a young sensation, Carlos Alcaraz.
Yeah, did Medvedev, did he have to play outside of himself like he said he would? He said that I got to be better than 10 out of 10. I got to play out. Yeah. I got to be myself. I got to be 11 out of 10. And he sounded like he was.
Very philosophical post-match interview. Said some interesting things.
Yeah. I'm just trying to follow it. And just incredible.
First and 10. So the Edmonton lead is down to 4. And that one caught by Stephen Dunbar. His first catch of the afternoon. Gain of 16 and across midfield.
And why not? You know, you got the run working. Browns just torched you. Little play fake to him underneath. Boom. Then bitch it out here. Pretty easy. Defensive end doesn't know where he is. He's squeezing hard on Brown. Then you see Trey just drop it down. It's an easy pickup of 16 right there. I like that.
Dunbar had a couple of touchdowns Monday, including that one thrown by Kyron Moore. First and 10. Midfield, and oh, that was close to being picked off. Nick Taylor was coming across Dunbar, the intended receiver.
Yeah, and it looks like Mitchell to me on a cross. No, that's Dunbar, and he's going to come up here. He's come underneath, and Trey Ford is trusting he's going to come hard in there, and he kind of settles down. The reason why he's settling down is because you got free safety coming over the top. He's going to try to put your lights out, and Dunbar settled, and the ball's on the ground.
See Nick Taylor's reaction. Dunbar ruined his chance at an interception there, getting his hand on it. 2nd and 10. The Calgary 54. Look at all the time that Ford has. All kinds of time, and then he takes off and makes the Stamps defense pay anyway.
Right. We talked about it at the beginning, Rod, and we heard from Ryan saying that it's going to take a more cautious approach, not be as aggressive. Well, they drop everybody here. They're only rushing 3. You see Judge spying right in the middle there, number 4. He's got Corte eating on him now. Then Ford takes off, and by this time, there's a lot of gaps out there, and Trey Ford's going to find him for 21 yards.
21. He had a couple of big runs at McMahon on Monday, Matty. One that set up a touchdown. Another one later in the second half when he cut back to the right in the open field. Just tremendous running from Trey Ford, who had 135 in the day. And the Calgary 33 after that game. Back to Kevin Brown. Ball's out. Stampeders have it. Jonathan Moxey with it, and he's still on his feet. Running around just inside the 20, and they still don't have him, and now he's got a bit of an opening to the right, letting his blocker set up. Moxey. Not the longest fumble return in terms of yardage, but in terms of time. That went on for a while before Moxey was down. And it was Taylor that knocked the ball out on Kevin Brown, and a big turnover going Calgary's way.
Yeah, Nick Taylor having a heck of a ball game already. Open field, got Kyron Moore down, no problem. Here, lays a hat on the football. Kevin Brown loses his 3rd fumble of the season. He had 3. That's his 4th. He had lost 2. That's his 3rd. And then all heck breaks loose here, trying to figure out where Jonathan Moxey's going. It's like, bruh, he wanted to be a receiver, running back in the day. Trying to make it happen right there.
Brown had run for 15 before the fumble. Moxey ran a lot after the fumble when he got it. There's Ka'Deem Carey. And a good pickup for Carey. He gets it up near the 40. Late here in the first quarter.
I love you, baby. Love you, Nico. Still here, baby.
That's it. That's it. Having a day. Having the first 15 minutes here. Solid football. Nick Taylor, 5th-year player from Florida International.
Ka'Deem Carey had 11 yards meanwhile, and another first down for the Stampeders. Trailing by 4 in this quick first quarter. About to come to an end here on this last play for Jake Maier. On the first and rolling to his right. Throws it back across over the middle. Intended for Reggie Begelton. And that is quarter time. Explosive start for the Edmonton Elks. Got good field position, then got good running from Kevin Brown on 3 straight plays to find the end zone for the only touchdown so far. Calgary, though, coming back with a big play to set up a field goal. 7-3 the score in the Labor Day rematch. Through the first 15 here at Commonwealth. Close game, 4-point lead for the Elks. They got that lead early. How about Kevin Brown? Buried in those numbers. Brown with 88 rushing yards in the first 15, Matty.
Yeah, and I tell you, whenever I watch a football game, I'm always looking for that explosive running back. Hit a hole and just pop out in the secondary and then see what he's got. And when Kevin Brown does it, we know what he has now because he's done it several times this season already. And when he breaks into that secondary, it's lights out. And what a first quarter for him. But kind of everything we expected from this football game. Tre Ford doing his thing, making a lot of people miss. Really not pushing the envelope with the passing game at this point. But why do you have to? And then on the other side, you've got Jake Maier. A big play to Markeith Ambles down the middle for 35 and spreading it around quite nicely and establishing the line of scrimmage with his running back, Ka'Deem Carey and Bellamy. So, yeah, both teams, I think, can be pretty comfortable with the first quarter here other than a fumble by Kevin Brown and bad field position by the Calgary Stampeders.
Maier, we've seen that explosive ability in several games. That 35-yard completion in the first quarter to Markeith Ambles. So here we go to start the second, throwing it to his right. Coming back to get it is Marken Michel. Comes back to the football, and he has that one for a pickup of about 6-7 yards. It's inside the 45.
Yeah, and you don't have to be a burner like Tre Ford. You just have enough mobility and uncertainty fortitude and to get outside, and that's exactly what Jake Maier does. And Marken Michel working really hard back to the football, makes a nice handsy catch, and then good pursuit by the Edmonton Elks defense, keeping short of the sticks. And that's great initially. Then here comes some help. Bang, inside out. That's Adam Konar. And you're looking at a punting situation. Nice defense by the Elks in situation. Second and long.
Came back but couldn't get the yards after the catch they needed, so they will have to punt it. Cody Grace. Got a couple 50-plus so far in this game. Gets that one away. C.J. Sims. After a 54-yarder is chased inside the 15. Breaks free. Still on his feet. And a nice tackle by Charlie Power, because if he didn't get him, there was a lot of room there for C.J. Sims heading to his right.
Sure was. Charlie Power, that's what he does. You know, 9-year player from Saskatchewan. Number 46, right there. just, oh, he said, no, because he's like the last contain right there, coming inside out. He doesn't get CJ there, it's off to the races. Nobody's catching 16. Charlie Power saving the day for the Stamps.
Big special teams tackle, Power.
That's what he does. He and Will Langley, so many players, Cowan, Herman Reed, just get after it on those special teams.
So the Elks take over last possession, the fumble by Brown, fake to him. And Ford takes off again. Here we go as he slides down. Trey Ford using his legs.
Alway showing a little frustration at the end there, Rod. Yeah, it's like you got to be careful. You can't take out your frustrations because the guy's got superior athletic ability and it's tough to tackle in open space. Always slipping already. Now he gets juked out of his pants. Taps him down aggressively there, and the way that they're protecting our quarterbacks, if they need to, don't need to be coming in there. Just tap him down. He gave himself up. Micah Alway, though, is a beast and a tackle machine. He had a hard time with number 2.
Yeah, he's had a great year with the tackles, but that was a tougher one. A gain of 7, and Kevin Brown now driving up to the 40, and what looks like enough for an Elks first down.
Yeah, this is just good power football. And Elks getting back to what the Edmonton franchise has always been known for, establishing line of scrimmage. And I think that starts with Trey Ford. Helps the running game, helps those offensive linemen. Wears out of defense. Micah Alway can attest to that, number 57 right there. Yeah, he's going, I got eyes on you, too.
Came in with 86 tackles along the way, and how about that? Broken up. Coming in,
beautiful
Brad Muhammad. Back in the secondary for the Stampeders. Makes that play.
Yeah, I hadn't seen much playing time, but he's back in there because of injury. 7 players, new faces for the Calgary Stampeders, and coming from depth, you can see 28 on his horse right away. 47. Just recognizing it, not letting Kyron Moore get any type of momentum on around the corner.
Muhammad activated from the practice roster after a couple of injuries on defense on Labor Day Monday, including Michael Griffin. And also Titus Wall, which saw Brandon Dozier have to move up to play strong side linebacker.
And Dozier's very comfortable in that position.
Ford taken off again, and Cameron Judge this time has him wrapped up, and the fans think maybe for a little bit too long with that whistle blowing, and Mark Cordy comes over to say a thing or two to Mr. Judge.
And he can understand it. You know, it's like, so tired of chasing this guy around already. And Judge is just happy to get there. Once he does, he celebrates a little bit. Yeah, Cam is right here. Not right there, folks. He's right number 4 in the middle of the field on the left hash. And, boy, nice job of breaking down fundamentals there. Get wide and then move and watch his hips. Don't watch anything else. Just watch the hips. Don't watch his head. Don't watch the ball. Just watch his hips. Cameron Judge, he's been there, done that.
So that's just a 3-yard pickup for Ford, and Julian will come on to punt this one away. You can just tell how mindful the Stampeders defensively are to the running ability of that Elks quarterback in his second year. Julian from Barrie, Ontario. Punter 41, Tommy Lee Lewis. And he finds some room as he works it up to the Stampeder 45, Cameron Judge. We talked about the role of spying quarterbacks that have that great running ability, and he's had a lot of that this season.
Wrestle him down.
Doesn't want to let him go.
Got a super.
Understandably. That's Josiah Shackle, special teamer, and a good one for the Edmonton Elks, but flagged here, Matty, at the end of the punt return by Tommy Lee Lewis.
Yeah, and just he's about 1.5 yards out of bounds, and Shackle's kind of like Cameron Judge. Once you finally get to somebody like that, you want to lay a little lumber on him. It was out of bounds. Got caught. Yeah, second-year player from Alberta right here, right? Homegrown.
One of the local products.
Gotta love it, man. I just saw a local product. Blake Dermott came in, said to say hello. He and I came in together.
Old teammates in the Edmonton days.
Yes, sir.
Great career he had, too. Blake Dermott.
Yeah, he did. Played forever.
1st and 10, Edmonton 50.
How about
That's
that
completed to Reggie Begelton, and a long throw to the wide side.
Yeah.
A gain of 16.
Yeah. Other than a deep ball, this is probably the longest throw you're going to have to make. It's a wide side out. And Reggie's going to come, and he's going to slow play it and then just speed cut away from the defender. And ball's put right there on timing. That's a pretty pass. Catch. Right in front of
Darius
Bratton. First-year player from Virginia. Reggie's welcoming him to the league one more time.
Down to the 34 of the Elks, and running to the right side is Kadeem Carey again. Tough running in there, and a pickup of 3 for the Stamps.
Yeah, it's amazing, Rod. You talk about tough running, and the offense stays on the field a little bit more. You establish the line of scrimmage. You churn up some time. You play with the lead. Defense is down the field. How much better your defense actually becomes, right? Against the run and in all facets. I'm not saying Edmonton's there yet, but they're figuring it out and finding some balance. And crowd here today on a beautiful day kind of proves that. And certainly Dave Dickinson, head coach of the Stampeders, he knows it.
Well, a carry season interrupted by injury at 9 carries, 55 yards last week. 2nd and 7. That's complete by Beckman, who takes a hit right away from the safety Luchez Purifoy, but it is a first down inside the 20 for the Stampeders.
Our quarterbacks know that, boy, life's a lot easier when you got time. Look at this pocket Jake Mayer has to work with. Just a beautiful pocket right here, and watch him lean into this throw. Step up in there, climb it, and just lean into it. Almost fouled it. 14 yards right over the middle, anticipating receiver coming in that area. Ball's out. Nice Purifoy saying, I'm back here, don't forget about me.
Gain of 14 for Begelton, who's the high 800s, now closing in on another 1,000-yard season. And that one, tight inside coverage for Mark and Michelle, and that sets them up for 1st and goal.
Yeah, the Ferrari's in full view right now, and he's on fire. Jake Mayer is just feeling it. Spots his ball down there nice and low. Markin goes and gets it out to Begelton. Dig across the middle. Shot to Markin.
And here we go on 1st and goal, and picking up a few more yards as carries. He gets it inside the 5 down to about the 3. The Stampeders, first time either team's been in the red zone, Matty, and they're knocking at the door.
Yeah. And I know how Jake Mayer's programmed. He wants to go fast. He did that in university, and he wants to play. He feels like he's got the defense on their heels, and he wants to go as quickly as possible. He's feeling it. He's in a nice little rhythm, nice little groove. Got to capitalize right here, though.
6th play of the drive coming up here for the Stampeders. You have to score a touchdown in this game, but awfully close. On a 2nd and goal at the Edmonton 3 for Mayer. With Carey behind him. Faking the handoff into the end zone, and a touchdown for William Longley. An impressive drive by the Stampeders, capped off with that pass to Longley for his first touchdown of the season.
That's right, his 3rd catch. Had 2 for 14 coming in, and this is a great play action fake. Right in, and just watch this right here. Just coming around, play action. Stick it out there. William gets lost. Everybody's in the flat. 2 covering 1. Willie says, yeah, I'll take that all day long. This scoring's easy. A lot better than flying down and trying to get tackles on special teams. We love this red zone offense stuff, especially when you throw me the football. So that's huge, Rod. You know how important that is for your team. It just brings everybody together. Brings teams into the offense onto teams, and everybody's important.
Rene Paredes with the point after, and all the momentum swings back to the red and white now after that great start by the Elks. First possession down for a touchdown. He was so alone, all he had to do was catch it. William Longley did. And the Stampeders now have a 10-7 lead in the Labor Day rematch at Commonwealth.
Markeith Ambles, he's right here, and he's going to fly across the formation in the flat here. 2 people are going to take him, and William Langley's going to chip and just go to the back of the end zone here. Easy pitch and catch for Jake Mayer and William Langley. There's taking 2 in the flat. Willie's like, oh, man, this offensive stuff is easy. Oh, these are special teams. Yeah, that's right. That's it. Berglund showing him out. Yeah, he's a stud.
Well, he's in his 8th year at the University of Sherbrooke, and
so valuable.
Yeah, every now and then he gets his chance and takes advantage of it. Wide open.
Somebody like that, Charlie Power, William Langley, you know, cut from the same cloth. You know, it could be on any football team. Everybody has these selfless players that just get after it on special teams, and when they incorporate it offensively, it's special.
6 plays, 50 yards in 3.5 minutes for that Calgary touchdown. Their first of this game. They have the lead, and the ball's in the hands of C.J. Sims, who explodes through and then suddenly heads down with Kobe Williams meeting him right at the Edmonton 40. Started well for the Elks. Back come the Stampeders. Touchdown to Longley from Mayer, and a 10-7 lead, second quarter in Edmonton.
Yeah, just our way, and you've got Cam Judge just getting after here, trying to figure things out. Okay, look, he goes your way, I'm going to do this. He just says, I'm going to do this, but I'm not going to do it all by myself. We're going to have to switch up here. I always got him on this play. He's slipping before he gets to him. Then Trey gets down, he says hello, and then Judge right in the middle of your screen, he's like, okay, patience, come to me. Berglund flushes him a little bit, helps him out. Well, that's just good defense right there against an almost impossible task.
3 tackles between them, Matty, on this one. There's Kevin Brown. Oh, he just keeps knifing his way right up the middle, and then goodness, student body right. They just keep going. And see a helmet come off, big first down inside Calgary territory. How about the running of Kevin Brown in this game?
Right, and just more of it. You know, we saw it in the earlier game, Toronto just giving it to defense, and it was Andrew Harris getting after an A.J. Oleg. Today we're seeing a special play right here. We saw second game, we saw Brady Oliveira get after it as well, and then now we got Kevin Brown. We're getting a good dose of that hard running, keep the legs churning type of mindset.
And with that, he is over 100 yards already. Just past the halfway point of the second quarter for Kevin Brown. Has it again and makes something of it as they had him all tied up, but he does pick up a few, well, 1 yard. So second down and long coming up for the Elks.
It's not ideal. You get number 4 going east and west. That's probably a good idea. You don't want him going north and south because one is explosive. Talking to Dave Dickinson about that man right there, Changham. Says he's probably the most athletic defensive lineman we have. And he's on the field for a reason. And that's to help contain and control their Edmonton Elks running game.
In the Elks running game, our statistician Dave Moyer tells us over 150 yards rushing so far. Brown and Ford as well. 150. Ford has 32 of it, and the rest belonging to Brown. But they'll be facing a third down now after that one goes incomplete.
Yeah, that play right there, you know, everybody talks about this kid not being able to throw the football down the field. Well, he had offensive line being pushed back into his lap, and the ball sailed on him. So Trey would like to have that one back, so it was offensive line.
Now there are players in behind Jake Julian. Watch for this in this punting situation. He stands at midfield. There's a player on side who gets caught up, though, way upfield. On to 39, kicking it down to Tommy Lee Lewis.
That looked pretty good. Limited that guy.
Certainly did. He just barely got it outside the 10. Halftime coming up. What a busy day for that crew. Kate Burness, Milt Stegall, Jim Barker, Dave Naylor, and this triple header Saturday, our first triple header of the season. I remember those days in the studio, so do you.
Yeah, they're besties by now.
Yeah. Well, the thing I remember, you know, a little variety of foods, and I'm sure there's been a lot of healthy stuff in there now. But a long day, but a really great day. Canadian Football League, starting with the Argos and Als, and then Winnipeg, big-time revenge in the Riders in the Banjo Bowl.
You think? That was a statement.
It certainly was.
Not so
Devontae
fast.
Bellamy, Matty, the ball carrier and pickup before. But you're right. It certainly was as the Bombers improved to 10-3, and the Argos improved to 10-1.
And you try to wrap your head around it and try to figure out how can one team look so good one week and maybe not so good the next week, or vice versa. And Toronto's been looking good just about every week. And Jake Mayer's Ferrari's doing really well in this football game. Yeah, but Winnipeg, boy, they were dominant.
2nd and 6 for Mariners, 10 for 12. Another completion. That's Bellamy. Breaks free for a first down as well for Calgary, up across the 25.
Boy, that's got to feel good. Just get the ball in 34's hands right now. Good things are going to happen for you. Western Michigan.
And the 3-minute warning officially given on this play here. Dumping it off to Bellamy. Does a little bit of work there too as Calgary has the ball and they have the lead.
All right, big halftime coming up. We're still fired up. It's our 3rd game of the day. That doesn't matter. Jake Mayer, Calgary's defense. Kevin Brown going to get a little bit of love. And you know what, guys? We just need to shake it off. Just shake it off. We're ready to go. Last halftime. We're good.
Shake it off.
Shake it off. Shake it off.
Shake it off.
That sounds like they either have a lot of energy or they're trying to find that extra burst in this part 3 of the triple header.
Yeah, burst.
They're getting the burst. It's coming up.
Fake enthusiasm. Been there, done that.
Kate in the paddle coming up at halftime.
Long
2:43 away. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Mayer finds some room. He escapes. And he just gets as far as he can before he heads out of bounds. Gain of 7 yards for the Stampeder quarterback.
Yeah, he's shown you he can do what's necessary with his legs when called upon. And he's had a real good first half here, buying extra time, putting pressure on a defense, making them jump on flat route, and finding William Langley all by himself in the end zone, just picking up a first down here and there. Ferrari's looking smooth in this first 27 minutes.
Stampeders are 5 for 9 in second down conversions too. This is a 2nd and 3 from the 33. Back to Bellamy. And he cuts back, and he is taken down there by A.C. Leonard, tackled shy of a first down.
And that was Niles Morgan flushing him back inside, making him change his track. And the rest of the posse is waiting on him. Chris Jones knows about Niles Morgan, loves that kid.
Punting unit coming out late in this first half, so Edmonton will get the ball back and see if they have a chance to at the very least come back and maybe tie this game at halftime or take the lead.
Yeah, plenty of time. 2.5
minutes. Cody Grace, another punt, flag coming out. C.J. Sims, 25 after a 51-yard punt. Not Sims, Luchez Purifoy, the punt returner for the Elks there, pending the outcome of the flag here. Now bear in mind, this was a 3rd and 1.
This first down for Calgary Stampeders.
Yeah.
Too many men in the field.
Anything against Edmonton.
C.J. Sims not happy because somebody forgot to tell him that there was a different returner out there, and he was on the field and he didn't get off on time, and the next thing you know, there's a flag, and officials are trying to probably figure out where the ball was.
Too many players.
Yeah.
Edmonton. It's a 10-yard penalty. First down.
That hurts, man. You had opportunity, like you said, Rod, come back here, possibly tie it up, take the lead with 2:26 on the clock, and then take that penalty. That's coaches and players there, not knowing what's going on.
Sims had been the returner all game, switched it up, and Luchez Purifoy, who has been a returner in his career, went on and time with the Elks too for that one. But yeah, it's costly. It's up at the 45 now of the Stampeders, and they maintain possession of the football. 2:12 in the clock here at Commonwealth. And Calgary now thinking of perhaps adding to that lead, which stands at 3 right now. 4 receivers out to the left. Mayer looks the other way and just throws it down. Jake Ceresna wants a grounding call.
Jake's calling the game as well as playing the game. I love it. Talk about heck of a football season. Jake Ceresna, A.C. Leonard, those guys, good as anybody in the league. Great motors. Force that throw away. Those are those plays that really don't gets shown up on the stat sheet other than hurries, and that is a perfect example of what a hurry or a pressure is, making the quarterback throw it away.
Second down. Crowd picks up a bit here at Commonwealth. As Mayer works to the right, he completes it too, and that is Markeith Ambles, who had a big catch in the first quarter, a 35-yarder, but that one is shy of a first down. So
about 3 yards shy, Rod. So this is forcing another punt by Calgary. See if Edmonton can get the right number of people on the field. Lucius just pointed to C.J. Sims and said, "You're back there," and Lucius is coming off.
They got that straight.
Yeah.
So as Cody Grace comes on in the punting unit. Even that one that didn't count was over 50 again, but he's been just a remarkably consistent punter. And Sims, after down a little shorter for him, 42, but just outside the 15.
Executives to waive the stipulation that Kate Milt be allowed to be on that show. I want to watch them compete.
Be a good team.
Yeah, I think they would. I think they would. I'd watch it. No, but they lost about 120 on that mishap with the too many men in the field penalty and a little bit of field position. They still got plenty of time here.
144. Up to their 18 now. Down a field goal. Trey Ford hands off to Kevin Brown. What a half he's had. And first contact was behind the line of scrimmage, but he made something of it to get it up to around a 5-yard pickup.
Yeah, they're going to have to get it at least about the, what? Say about the 30, about the 40-yard line, 39, 40-yard line.
A lot of real estate to cover at this point. They're still way back there, up to 23. So it was 5 more yards for Brown. 120 yards. The blitz coming, nearly intercepted to Kobe Williams coming in, and Ford is hurt. They brought the heat. He just got rid of the ball. Cameron Judge coming in, and Ford is down.
Yeah, Cam Judge coming right up the middle. He's coming right through here and basically untouched, bringing the heat, cover zero, pop right in the ribs. That's a clean hit. That's an excellent hit. Watch him leverage, pop. Oh, yeah, all day.
See the grimace in the face of Ford as Judge comes in and takes him down.
I think hopefully it's just the wind. See if his left wrist got caught up underneath there. But that's just a heck of a play, dialed up. Cam Judge and his teammates. Perfect timing, untouched. And I'm thinking it's just a win. And I know all Elks fans are hoping it's just a win, nothing serious. You can shake that off.
He has been such a sensation in a short period of time and breathing some life into this organization, getting his chance. This is his 5th start this season. And he's made some spectacular plays. Good to see him walk off, and a big hit by Cameron Judge.
Yeah, you know that feels good, right? Finally, you got him dialed up and you got him in your crosshairs as opposed to trying to deal with the 65 yards with the field. And Cam Judge takes full advantage of it on a blitz there. And Mike always says, yeah, let's do that again. Another look at it. Right up the middle. Untouched. Straight line. Rib fest. Been there, done that, number 2. Shake it off. Got 30 more minutes to play. Labor Day Classic rematch. Let's go.
Well, you're talking about hoping it's just the win. You sound like you're speaking from experience there.
Oh, yeah,
taking a few shots there.
I mean, anybody's played a position and take a shot just like that.
Yeah. So Jake Julian in, standing at the 10. Tommy Lee Lewis, the Calgary 35 to receive this one. Still lots of time. 1.5 minutes for Calgary here now with that 3-point lead. Lewis across the 40, a 42-yard punt. He's up at the 45, but he has nowhere to go. Good coverage. Shaker is in there on that, and also Tanner Green.
Yeah.
A couple of their leaders in special teams downfield.
The selfless team right there. Just getting down. Hey, Jones, you talk about it again. Chris Jones loves the fact that none of his starters play on these teams. These are all guys specialized for this. They're not starting on defense, not starting on offense. This is what they're called on to do. They did a heck of a job on that play right there.
Veteran fullback Tanner Green, but a lot of great work over the years.
Yeah. Baby, like taking candy from a baby.
Calgary 45 now, 1st and 10, late first half. Jake Maier, strong first half, completes that to Kadeem Carey. He turns around and he gets it up across the 50. A few yards shy of a first down after a pickup of 6.
Yeah, and Jake, we've seen him here in the first 30 minutes. Check it down, check it down, check it down. A lot of times it's because pressure's in his face. That time, no pressure in his face, but he checked it down because time on the clock. Got to get it moving. Not a bad idea to get in 3-5's hands either.
2nd and 3. We'll call it a gain of 7 then for Carey. 1 minute exactly on the clock until halftime. Up near midfield, Carey, big burst, still on his feet. And an impressive run for Kadeem Carey.
Yeah.
As he gets the first down and a whole lot more into Elks territory.
Just right off the edge. And Kadeem says, yeah, I know this play. Put me in, coach. Enough of this Bellamy stuff. I'm healthy. Boy, they're in great field position already, knocking at the door. Rene Paredes, for sure, is in the mix.
His longest.
He's money when it's long.
Yes, 53. That's his longest this season. He had one of 46 last week. He was 4 for 4. As his career long 2 is 53.
Boy, doesn't look good for Stamp fans limping off like that.
He's limping off, and Matty, there's an injured Elks player that's getting tended to.
Yeah, he had 40 yards last week. And tough football game, tough situations, just running hard. These guys, I mean, limited touches this year, 33 coming in this football game. You go, what? Yeah, just 33. And that's not a lot. Some of these backs are getting close to 200 touches already this season. You want this guy in the field as much as possible. Good thing they got Dietrich Mills and Bellamy from Western Michigan that can spell him. Oh, and that's the starting middle linebacker. That's Niles Morgan.
Niles Morgan heading off now, so he's out of the mix for a few plays at least. 48 seconds. Stampeders. Elks territory. Bellamy back to him as he gets closer to the 35. Certainly in field goal range for Paredes. And see what else they do here with 42 in the clock.
Yeah, I'm calling a play where I get vertical, and if I got a shot, I'm going to take it. You know, because you had 3 in the bank here, basically, from Paredes. But if not, I'm going to check it down, try to move the sticks, and keep this drive alive.
At the 36 now, and passing off it. Yep, there you go, inside the 30, down closer to the 25.
How smooth was that, though?
And that was Ambles.
Bang, bang.
Another catch.
Silky. Watch this. Bam. Well, that's a big pickup. Markeith Ambles means a lot to this football team.
Down to the 27. They'll be thinking of more than just a field goal. As it's in the hands there of Tyson Middlemost.
Yeah, I just love watching.
There.
Yeah, I love watching Jake Maier work in this situation. Says he loves hurry up.
So 2nd and 2. First down and more. And bursting down near the 10. That's Kadeem Carey. So an impressive drive for the Stampeders late in this first half. 18 seconds to go.
Was he doing like a Jim Brown there? Just kind of like he's lulling us to sleep, limping off the field, and then gets back in the huddle and busts for 10?
Down to the 11 now. 1st and 10. Maier, 13 seconds. Oh, tosses it off.
Yeah.
And it was McLaurin who just saw that coming and laid the body there on Kadeem Carey.
Yeah. Second-year player from Mississippi State stood up on his hind legs, barked like a dog right there. Timeout, Calgary. Whew. So you want to be a running back. You got to catch it, too, and take hits like that.
Well, he had a little stare down afterwards.
I don't think you want to do that with Kadeem Carey. No. He's going to get your number and figure you out.
So a 1-yard pickup. So down to the 10. The timeout called by the Stamps. And for Dave Dickenson, interesting point here. 10 seconds on the clock. 1 crack at the end zone. And then He's going to make a decision.
What do you dial up? Go 3-2, single back.
I was going to ask you.
Yeah, looks like man coverage to me. Read it out.
First strike. Trying for the end zone again. Late in the half. The catch. The touchdown. Reggie Begelton.
Piece of cake.
10-yard touchdown strike. Second touchdown pass of this game thrown by Mayer as the Stampeders increase their lead 5 seconds before halftime.
Got that right, Rod. It starts with the big boys up front. Protection. Watch the protection. These guys are just all got their man locked up. 4-man rush. Looks left. Begelton over the top. Nobody in the middle. Easy post pattern. High points it. That's the way to finish a half if you're the Ferrari, Jake Mayer.
8 plays, 65 yards in a minute 12, leaving 5 seconds on the board, and the only thing they need Paredes for now is the point after getting into the end zone for the second time in this game. 1 more point on the board and a 10-point Calgary lead now.
So Rod, the play before McLaren's knocking the snot out of Kadeem Carey, and then in this play he's on the back end of a touchdown from that man right there, Reggie Begelton, who is now the leading receiver. Well, maybe Sean had something to do with that earlier today, but he's top 2 right now in the Canadian Football League. Reggie Begelton really capping a nice first half for the Calgary Stampeders offense.
Well, he's gone over 900 yards on the season. He has 56 and the touchdown in this first half, and Mayer and Dave Dickinson, all smiles and fist bumps on that one to be sure. But yeah, Begelton up across 900 and his 3rd touchdown catch of this season.
Got a question for you, Rod. Second down conversion, that's a touchdown catch. That is also second down, right? And he's tied for second coming this ball game. Second down conversions. Does that count second down conversion catch?
It should.
I think so.
It's the best possible conversion.
I think so.
Take it into the end zone.
That's the way to do it.
Stampeders 9 for 15 on second downs, but absolutely. Count for that. Gavin Cobb on the return. And there's Tyson Middlemost and Nick Stats, special teamers for the Stampeders. So good to see Trey Ford back out after it looked like he was winded after taking that hit from Cameron Judge before.
Yeah, and our Calgary tip of the cap for really settling in and keeping him in check. Other than a couple explosive plays by Kevin Brown, Cam Judge, Micah Alway, that defense has all eyes on number 2, but they forgot about number 4 a couple times, and he helped them out with a gift right there. His 4th fumble, 3rd lost on the season.
And it is the Stamps leading by 10 at the half. Here's Ryan Brashok now with Micah Alway.
Thank you, Rod. Mikey held him to 11 yards through the air, got a pretty good shot on him as well. What do you think of the job your group did on Trey Ford?
Honestly, we're doing all right. Man, they're running the ball on us. 11 yards, okay, whatever, but they got more rushing yards on us, and they're scheming us some. They watch the film, and they're doing things that are different to the front 7. So for me, well, I'm not even satisfied. None of us are satisfied. In fact, I'm actually a little bit mad that he got 20 yards on us and multiple times. So to us, we can go back in the locker room and come out and just trash him.
Seems like some of that anger comes out, too. It's a little chippy out there, maybe compared to the last game.
Yeah, it is. I mean, they're trying to be a little bit like Winnipeg, so maybe they're getting some plays from Winnipeg, all those guys over there, Stanley Bryant. Maybe they're talking to them. I don't know, but they need to stop it because, personally, it's personal. I mean, every time they talk to me, every time they talk to anyone on the front 7, it becomes personal.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
All right, let's send it to Kate and the panel.
Wow, okay.
Whoa. We never get halftime interviews like that. Dave Naylor, Jim Barker, Mills. Before we get to your questions, can we just react to that very quickly? I mean, just referencing Winnipeg. I mean, he's angry for the fact that they're up 17-7 in this game.
Right. You have to appreciate that transparency right there.
You do.
You don't get that, but he's excited, but he's also unhappy that they've been getting up with all these running yards, and he's saying the Elks are taking a book out of the Bombers' play. I don't know exactly what that means.
Talking, because he said, because they're talking a lot on the line of scrimmage. And So that's what the Bombers supposedly do, according to Mike Alway. I don't know.
But the Bombers are 9-3. I don't know the Elks.
I mean, I don't know what's happening here, but...
I didn't expect him to be taking.
All right, you know what? Let's just get to the game as is. Let's go according to plan, and that starts with Jake Maier in just such an efficient half. 17 of 20. He's got 160 yards. He's got 2 TDs. Milt, it's as good as it gets right now. Oh, he lost his microphone. You know what? Let's talk about Jake Maier's play at this moment. And you got to think, after that last game where he was so incredibly efficient against the Elks and really back into that Argos game as well, this just keeps going in the right direction for him, doesn't it, Milt Stegall?
Yes,
Whoop, there he is.
And you guys are laughing at me. That's okay. But you know what? I'll guarantee you Jake Maier's been tired of hearing all week or the last 2 or 3 weeks about Trey Ford. And he's basically saying, hold on, remember me last week? I'm the one who brought this team back. And you can see the way he's playing in his first half that he's saying, okay, I understand about Trey Ford, but don't forget about me. And I've been on him all year because he hadn't been consistent. But now we see that consistency coming into play. And our wonderful insider mentioned to us that Dave Dickenson, head coach, is back to getting more involved in the offensive play calling. And that definitely is helping him out with what he's doing on the field. So sorry about that mic phone. I put a Dave Sanchez right there. Sorry about that.
Well, Micah talked about they're giving up a lot of yards rushing. He had 123. Kevin Brown had 123, and Trey had like 28 yards rushing. So they're giving up a lot of yards rushing. But one of the reasons for that is Trey Ford. They are not rushing the passer. They're playing him much more lateral. You don't see as much upfield. You know, last time he dropped an extra 5 yards back, and they went after him, and they had no chance. Now, if you see him, they're sitting back, much more lateral. They're allowing him to throw. They're saying, go ahead and throw, Trey. Now, he's only thrown 6 passes for 11 yards. It's an interesting way, but when you do that, you take your aggression away from your D linemen, and they are attacking them with Kevin Brown, which is a smart thing to do. So it's kind of an interesting defensive concept.
Yeah, and they got the big run out of Kevin Brown to get the 7-0 lead here early in the game. You know, you think back to the start of this season, and reasons why people were bullish, actually, on the Edmonton Elks at the start of the season were some players that emerged in the second half of last season, Kevin Brown being one of them. He did not get off to a great start this season, like so many of the Elks. The last 4 games leading up to this one, he's averaging 86 yards along the ground. That's been a big part of this turnaround. We've focused so much on Trey Ford and the 4 starts he's made, but it's coincided with sort of the resurgence of Kevin Brown. And of course, he hits well over the century mark in this game. So this game's getting away from Edmonton a little bit as we get towards the half, but Kevin Brown is the reason that are as close as they've been.
They're forcing Trey Ford to be a passer. Let's see if he can do that and win the game. Let's see if he can do it.
And this is the first team that's seen him for a second time, right? Which is something that we might have expected, that he would struggle throwing the ball a little bit that way.
It's just interesting to watch when he's away from the line of scrimmage, and they're not really coming at him.
No. Cam Judge is doing a nice job, though, spying again.
Right.
They did blitz, and on the blitz, they brought the guys on the edge and brought through the middle. But other than that, they're just playing back and saying, you know what, you want to throw the ball?
Throw the
ball.
By the way, Milt, I was just told I get your paycheck for this intermation because I took over your analysis.
Hold on, you guys are getting paid?
Oh, I'm a volunteer. More coming up after this. Can you believe it? It's already week 15 coming up in the CFL season. We've got a couple of double headers now. That seems easy after the triple header. Friday Night Football, the Toronto Argonauts back in action, once again taking on the Montreal Alouettes, and then it's the Elks in the Rough Riders. Saturday, we are going to be on location. It is the Hall of Fame game in Hamilton as the Bombers are in town, and then it all wraps up with the Red Blacks taking on the BC Lions, who are at home watching us on the couch right now because it is their bye week. There's a special guest in Winnipeg today, that being former Bombers QB Chris Streveler. He was signing autographs outside. People were dressing up like him from the Grey Cup party. But then they were asked, John Liu asked him the question, what's going on with your future? And I think all of us are curious of what's going on with his future. He said there are some nibbles in the NFL right now. chances of him coming back percentage-wise, Dave?
I think they're pretty good. I mean, he got an injury settlement with the Jets when he got cut at training camp, which means that once that's done and he's healthy again, he could go back to the Jets or any of those other nibbles. But if he doesn't find employment in the NFL, say by next February, you got to think about it. He's not an XFL guy. He's not an USFL guy. Those are leagues that people use to springboard to try to get to the NFL. He was always a divisive player in this league. There were people that loved him and people that didn't. He's freakishly athletic. I thought he was a better passer than people gave him credit for. He threw a lot of interceptions. That spooked people a lot. I think, given the market for quarterbacks, Jim, I think somebody would go in on Chris Streveler if he wants to come back to the CFL.
He's never proven that he can do it, but he's going to be healthy. He just is that kind of guy who's going to stay healthy, and he's won. He's a winner.
Yes.
I don't know. I think somebody would go on him. I think somebody would take a shot and say, you know what? We're going to give this guy starting money.
Yeah, neither one of you guys answered the question. She said percentage.
Yeah, I was looking for numbers.
She said percentage. Give you a percentage real quick.
I'll say 75% chance Chris Streveler's playing in the CFL.
What do you got, Coach? Hurry up.
I'd say 85%.
I'm going to say 100%.
Wow, okay.
Whoa. Someone's going to pay him $500,000, $600,000, and a lot of people are saying he's not worth that. You know what? You're worth whatever your agent can negotiate. We know there's a lot of need for quarterbacks in this league. He will be playing in the CFL, starting quarterback next training camp, $500,000-600,000, guaranteed.
I'm going to say 92%. I'm going right at 92%.
I didn't expect to be the low on this. Wow, okay.
Yeah, no, you're the conservative one, Nails. We all know it. Well, we got one more round of stats coming up. Who gets to do it? Find out next. Dave Naylor, a big Tyler Hubbard guy, and now a big stats guy as well.
The stats, well, we look at first downs. Edmonton, 6. Passing yards, 11. Okay, they got out of the single digits on passing yards. Barely. No, we've wondered whether Trey Ford, when he saw a team for a second week in a row, would be able to throw the ball down the field. He hasn't thus far. Overall net yards, 235 for Calgary, 166.
They have been running the ball well, though. Kevin Brown already with 123 on the ground. Second half from Commonwealth coming up right after this.
Halftime in Edmonton, and the Elks trail the Calgary Stampeders 17-7. Now, they had great production on the ground right from the get-go from Kevin Brown, who's standing by now with Ryan Rashad.
Well, not a ton of offense in that opening half. What did you guys discuss there at halftime?
We're just going to run that rock, man. I feel like, we're being more physical than them up front, and we're just going to pound it.
We've seen some big runs from you. That was another big run from you. What does it do for you when you get something like that happening early on in a game?
I think it's a confident booster, you know what I'm saying? Help with the big boys up front and the wide receivers blocking downfield. I wouldn't be able to do without them. But I feel like it's a confident and it establishes who's the more physical team.
Appreciate your time. Thanks.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So looking for more production from Kevin Brown, or he's talking about that, Matty, but they can't fall too far behind or that's going to negate the value of the running game.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Rod. They're going to have to, trash their game plan because 11 yards passing in the first half is not enough. You need to have balance offensively. And I think Trey Ford has the ability to pass the football. You just got to give him a chance. Calgary did a good job of taking that away in the first 30 minutes.
Here's C.J. Sims taken down. Coming down there is Darius Williams with the special teams tackle. So, yeah, you mentioned it. The passing, not there, but the running certainly was early.
Absolutely it was, and why not? At that point, you weren't down 10. You get down another score, and this could be out the window. But Kevin Brown is absolutely right. They were taking what the defense gave us, and he also has to share some accountability there. And on that fumble in scoring territory, taking points off the board, got to squeeze it a little bit harder than that. Make sure it doesn't happen here in the last 30 minutes to have a chance.
And Trey Ford passing just 3 for 6, just 11 yards in that first half. Down 10 to start the second, and to Brown they go. He had 3 straight carries in their opening possession of this game. The third one going for the touchdown that gave them the lead at that time. Pick up of 5 more yards for Brown.
Yeah, I like the game plan, and Calgary is certainly susceptible to that because oftentimes they're rushing 3 and 4 and dropping off a bunch to try to contain and help contain Trey Ford's ability to run the football and pull it down. But you got to be careful here. That can come back to bite you.
2nd and 5 now. Elks up at their 40. Start of the second half. Intercepted. That one's picked off by Brad Muhammad. Coming off the practice roster with a big play defensively for this Stampeder team as he gets it down to the Edmonton 26 and a first down. Jake Maier coming on.
Yeah, and this is the problem with this is they bring 0 and they pressure you and they know your routes, and then DBs just sit back and they jump it, and that's exactly what Brad Muhammad did right there. Yeah, they're coming. They're coming. They're coming. They're coming. They're coming. You sit back here. You're going to have a route over here like this. You're going to undercut it. This is what's going to happen right here. This is good team defense. Ball's out. Going the other way. Trey's going to learn from that because defenses know that. And you got to give it to him. You got to take it away. I remember learning those hard lessons on this football field myself. Sam comes, here comes the middle linebacker and picking it off. Where did he come from? You didn't see him. Well, you got to get your eyes to that secondary as well.
Second time the Elks have turned it over. Here's Kadeem Carey, and he is tackled there by McLaurin for not much of a gain. Just outside the 25, maybe a 1-yard pickup there for Carey. But yes, you know, Ford was a big story coming into this game, but that Calgary defense, ultimately the job they're doing, and especially that Edmonton passing game, has nothing going right now.
Yeah, you know, we saw them bring pressure several times in the first half, and really not a lot of success from Edmonton on countering that. And Trey's scratching his head trying to figure that one out on the fly. 2nd
and 9, handing off to Carey inside, gets it down just inside the 20, still shy of a first down, be a yard or 2 shy coming up here, and regardless, they have an opportunity to increase their lead coming in ahead by 10 as the field goal unit will come on. Jake Maier heads off, but good start and more points possibility here off a turnover for the Stampeders.
Yeah, didn't hurt yourself. Got an easier chip shot for one of the best, if not the best, in the Canadian Football League. Oh, Sean White, Lewis Ward, Boris Beatty. Got tremendous kickers in this league. Brett Lowther. These guys can flat out get her done. And just appreciate what we have in that department. Rene Paredes. A chip shot for him.
In the game today, some of the most accurate kickers in the history of the CFL, and that man is among them. As he puts another one through, 2 for 2, 6 for 6 in this Labor Day rivalry, including the rematch, which is now being dominated by the Stampeders. Third quarter.
Certainly this young man has got a special skill set, and it was on point and showcased a few times in the first 30 minutes of play. And Calgary Stampeders, I know, have worked over the last 4 days to try to figure this out and limit his ability, because he gashed him for 135 5 days ago. And in the first half, he had a little bit of success, but they started bringing a little pressure and getting to him. And you see Cameron Judge right there just gnawing on his ribs. And then here, Brad Muhammad, they read the mail, bring the pressure, and get a big-time interception.
So back to the ground, and Kevin Brown as they have the ball back. But yeah, Matty, it's like the Calgary's made that decision. Trey Ford's going to have to beat them with his arm, and so far that's not working out well, as we have a 2nd and long coming up here for Edmonton.
It's a well-executed game plan. Make them one-dimensional and drop 3 or 4, and then on 2nd and long situations, bring pressure and then jump the routes. And when you're getting hit in the ribs, like Cam Judge to him there late in the first half, boy, a young quarterback's going to get it out in a hurry, and Brad Muhammad read his mail and took it back.
Edmonton's 3 for 8 in 2nd down conversions. A 2nd and 10 coming up here, and Ford will try to take off. And they do swarm him. He does pick up some yardage, but not enough for a first down. 6 yards. Third down coming up. They're going to have to punt it away.
Yeah, Ron, I think that's predictable there. A guy with his skill set, and like I've said before a couple weeks ago, these design plays have got to be far and few between because defenses see it all the time, and they anticipate it coming. And picking up 10 on second and long, anticipating that, it's going to be tough sledding for the Edmonton Elks.
So Jake Julian back out, punted away, and see the onside players. Now moving forward now. And a flag comes out with the punt of the football after a 43-yarder, and picked up there by Lewis, who just goes down right away. Reggie Begelton, Calgary's leading receiver. He's getting close to 1,000 on the season. He has a touchdown in the first half. The Stampeders have the 20-7 lead, third quarter here at Commonwealth. Reggie Begelton, great veteran receiver with Calgary, getting set to really cold. Go to work again today. He says on the bit being cold. We got the Coors Light moment of chill now, featuring number 84, Calgary Stampeders, before the game. And taping up those fingers.
Yeah, those fingers are so important, man. Oftentimes you break them digits and they're all banged up, dislocated. You got to put them back together, get yourself right, and then go out there and do this kind of stuff. Take shots. And then make them pay for sticking their nose up too close to the line of scrimmage. Caught Scott Hutter. McLaren in a situation where, nope.
Got
over the top.
Got the chill in the end zone, Matt, and it's the Coors Light moment of chill.
During the previous play, we have procedure, no and Edmonton. That penalty is declined. We have holding Calgary, number 77. It'll be a 10-yard penalty, first down.
So a couple of penalties announced by the referee, Justin McInnes, on this one. Stampeder football with the lead, too, and they are pushed back to around their 12-yard line now. They had fallen behind very quickly in this game, 7-0, but 20 unanswered points for Calgary, and Jake Maier has been red hot. 17 for 20, 160, and 2 touchdowns in that first half. Throwing again here and completing it to Markin Michel. He came back for the ball. He was around the 20, still shy of a first down, but picks up 8 yards, and a 2nd and 2 is coming up.
Picking up where he left off. It's fun watching a quarterback in a zone, and I think Jake Maier's been in a zone. Although they lost to Toronto a couple weeks ago, he was in the zone of that game and showed you that he's getting hot. And last week, what he was able to do in the fourth quarter carried over here in the first 30-plus minutes, and Markin Michel is certainly a big part of that. This Calgary football team is doing a pretty nice job offensively right now, finding their rhythm.
Tommy Stevens coming on now in short yardage on that 2nd and 2. Stevens, who had 4 touchdowns in short yardage in this game, the Labor Day rematch here in Edmonton 1 year ago in that blowout victory by the Stamps. If nothing else, good for the fantasy. Anyone who took him in fantasy.
Right. Yeah, you know, what do you do, TDs, right? Yeah. You try to get a quarterback, they take your guy out, and then they put in Stevens or a short yardage specialist, and they're vultures. We call them fantasy vultures, Rod, is what we call them.
And he stays in. They didn't quite get it on that 2nd down, so one more crack at it. Stevens staying in, and we need just inches here. And he gets that and more. Takes a hit, too, but he gets it up now to the 25.
Yeah, and there's a couple of cats around the league, you know, that Pilgrim is one. You know, Winnipeg's got one.
Dakota
Prukop and Tommy Stevens. We saw him last year bust off about a 90-yard touchdown run in one of these quarterback sneaks. And you know, you talk about running backs when they break out into the secondary. Can they run away from people? We've got folks here that can do that as well all across the league in these situations. I saw it when Flutie did it to me one time, and it was like, what? I just dropped my helmet and started clapping. That was too good.
I remember that Stevens one against Saskatchewan at the end of the season, an 85-yard run. So Maier's back in, and it's Bellamy who got into the act in the first half, and
there you go,
Niles Morgan finishing things off right there.
Yeah. We got to start fighting fire with fire now. I'm putting the pressure on them. Can't let Jake sling it back there. all night long. You got to stop this run, make them one-dimensional, go put some pressure on them. Get off the field. It's a nice play, A.C. Leonard. Sliding down.
He is fired up.
He can do it all. That guy is so talented.
Well, they had the back-to-back wins, but lost on Labor Day Monday, and they've got work to do now to avoid a second straight loss to the Stampeders. Past the halfway point of the third quarter, and they're down by 13. And Mayer, with time, still with time, flushed out, on the move, gets rid of it. Open receiver nearly to Marken Michel, and just a bit too far. That close.
Shrapnel laying all over the field after Jake Mayer does his Trey Ford impersonation, making people miss and buying time, keeping his eyes downfield the whole time, and lofted the ball over the defense beautifully. Watch this. Don't have to do a lot. Just move around that pocket, quick feet, eyes downfield, spot him, lift it, and hope that good things happen. Boy, that was a beautiful throw.
Just as A.C. Leonard was getting to him, and yeah, that close to Michel. Wow. What a play that would have been. Instead, Cody Grace to punt it away. C.J. Sims, after a 47-yarder, breaks free for a moment. But he is taken down, and Edmonton has the ball again. That close. Mayer for Michel. No, but Calgary's still up, 13.
Kansas City missed Travis Kelce the other night.
Oh, yeah. He was shown. Close game,
like
but
different team.
Good on the Lions, though. Go to the home of the defending Super Bowl champions.
Huge win.
Way to start. The Edmonton Elks, Kevin Brown. They had a great start in this game. Just ruling it on the ground and taking it in for the touchdown. 6 more yards for Brown, but we talked about it at the start of this half. As good as Kevin Brown's been, I think Calgary's defense will take it if you're not getting the points.
Yeah, this game plan they brought in to the brick here this afternoon, this evening, it's being executed extremely well in all facets. Special teams, defense, and offense. Hitting at a high level. Edmonton's got to counter it somehow, get the passing game going.
Second down. That intercepted again for Trey Ford. Trey Roberson on Trey Ford. And another pick. The second of this half for the Stampeders secondary. Last 2 passes picked off.
Yeah, this is like double coverage that Trey's trying to throw into. Calgary's just anticipating this. Eugene Lewis trying to come over and sift his way through on a little slant route, and Trey's eyeing it down the whole time. One man passes him off to the other. Seeing whether or not. Oh, that's Trey Roberson right there saying, yeah, I'll take that all day. Pressure in the young quarterback's face. He's trying to figure it out.
They go to the ground as well, and Kadeem Carey. And happier to do so, I'm sure. A pickup of 4 yards and in control of this game, thanks in large part to the play of their defense. A couple of picks now in this half off Trey Ford.
Yeah, they're giving it to him and taking it away. They're pressuring him and then taking away their routes and anticipating that Trey and knowing exactly where he's going with the football. And easy pickings right now for the Calgary Stampeder defense.
The ball up just shy of their 50. And a second down and 7 for the Stampeders. Up 20-7 now. Under 5 minutes to go until three-quarter time. Good protection from Mayer. Gets rid of it. Wide open. Michel down to the 30. Cuts back a bit. And then he is taken down. Adam Konar in on the tackle. But another big connection now for Jake Mayer and one of his receivers. 31 more yards for the Calgary offense.
Yeah, and Marken Michel better have caught this one because Jake paid a price right there. Kind of got sandwiched high-low by the 2 ends for the Edmonton Elks. A.C. Leonard and Jake Serezna. And then watch this. He catches the ball. He's like, what? I'm this wide open? Ain't nobody around. Takes a shot as he completes that play, but another big play by the Stampeders. Good find by Ferrari looking downfield.
4 catches, 55 yards now for Marken Michel. Down to the Edmonton 30. In position to add to their lead. And more. Carey down. First down inside the Edmonton 20.
Yeah, just coming. There's a zone read here, just coming right to left, and he's just breaking tackles, running through it, and then Niles Morgan is just hanging on there at the end. Otherwise, 3-5s in the end zone.
12 more yards for Kadeem Carey, who's up to 70 on the day, on the ground. He's close to 100 total on Labor Day Monday. Third time in the red zone. And the previous 2 times Calgary got there, they got to the end zone. Carey, left side, 3 more yards. Gets it down to about the 15.
Yeah, at this point, I think Calgary, you know, tip of the cap for Coach Munson, defensive coordinator. Brent is all over it, and offensively, early Mark Mueller, Pat Delmonico are doing an awesome job of putting their players in excellent positions.
So we have a couple of flags down.
Yep.
And the discussion continues, both with a crowd with the players on both sides and the officials as well. Have a look and see what happened here, Matty.
Yeah, just on the right side of your screen there, guys, getting after it a little bit. And Markin will come in. Ed Gainey's like, come on, man. I was just trying to soften up the big man. Oh, no, that's a right cross.
A hard
that's
right
Begelton.
by Reggie Begelton.
Wow. I mean, I heard the boys talking about it in one of the games already today, getting in these type of altercations. And you close your fist, you're hitting a helmet, you're breaking your hand. You got to be smart. That's not very smart.
No, we already awarded the Coors Light moment of chill to Reggie, but
he was not chilling there.
I was going to say if it could be taken away.
He's a little upset. Can we do that?
I don't know. Al, you know what? I'd have to consult my producer Chris Edwards and see.
Well, I don't
think
Reggie
so.
for stepping up, but he can't be throwing punches out there.
So a lot of unnecessary roughness.
A whole lot of URs going on.
Penalties coming up here.
Nick Lewis, he never did that, of course, his Hall of Fame career, did he?
During the previous play, we have 3 misconduct fouls, 15-yard penalties against Calgary 80 and 84 and Edmonton 11. Will we go back 15 yards and it'll be second down.
As explained by Justin McInnes, a lot to sort out there.
Right, and hey, we saw Austin Mack get tossed from the game
earlier
today for throwing a punch. And my question is, why isn't Begelton out of the football game right now? That's just consistency across the board.
Something that'll be talked about.
Yeah. And
this,
you know,
this week is, I'm sure,
terrible part of the game, but it's got to be the same across the board.
So he stays in. It's a 2nd and 22, Calgary now. Back at the Edmonton 30. Looking to add to a 13-point lead. And the draw to Bellemare. And he gets down to about the 22.
He's been buried in the roster behind Mills.
They have a lot of depth at running back.
Yeah, they do. They're crazy. They just keep rolling them out there. And, I mean, obviously that's a 2nd and long situation there. And they're going to be playing zone, if anything. There's going to be holes to run through, but he exploited it pretty good. And he's been solid every time he's touched the football. Yeah. Begelton, I can't believe he's still in this football game. Man, I love me some Reggie Begelton, but hey, consistency, please.
Speaking of consistency, Rene Paredes, 3 for 3, 29-yarder, 3 more on the board for the Stamps, 23-7. Today, for the 2nd time here in Edmonton ever, there's an Indigenous broadcast of a CFL game. It happened first time last year in July. 2 broadcasts in 2 different Indigenous languages are being done by Wayne Jackson in Cree and Butch Wolfleg in Blackfoot.
Ik sta steeds nog genau wat ik zag niet kijken nu te na op skyway. Hij is not ja sapat sta met hem. Ook kindstes tap so kapie wat de paat is te moog bij. Kan de kijken daar pipisketje boekje.
Wayne Jackson and Butch Wolflake and Matty, you and I went and said hello to them before the game.
Yeah.
Wished them well, and it was interesting. One thing they don't have in their languages is a word for football.
So they call it what?
They go with pigskin.
That's right.
Trey Ford on the run. Deep look. Down the right. And the flag comes out. The coverage by Nick Taylor on Dylan Mitchell. It'll be a pass interference coming up here against Calgary.
Yeah, and this is the right call. And I think Trey Ford's arm strength and ability to get down the football field actually surprised his receiver. As I believe it was Kyron Moore had already said,
pass interference, Calgary, number 28.
Set her down.
Spot of the foul, first down.
Yeah, that's a big play for Edmonton. Help from Calgary, yes, but that's huge. That's a big chunk of yardage there. And Trey Ford often says he just wished they'd throw the ball deeper, and there he had a chance to and capitalized.
Gain of 50 on the penalty. First time they've had a first down in this half, and that's their first trip into the red zone in this game. They get it right down to the 20, and they'll take that yardage at this stage any way they can get it. Down by 16 points. So a little shuffle inside there to Moore. Sweeping down close to the 10. Kyron Moore taken down by Isaac Adeyemi-Berglund.
Well, I like that a lot, man. It reminds me of Winnipeg, what Buck Pierce does with his offense all the time, bring guys left to right. Little pitch underneath, real simple. That's a completed pass, by the way. And then this guy, man, second in the league in yards after the catch. Explosive. Find ways to get him the football.
It is a first and goal. He got the first down just inside the 10-yard line. So here we go for the Elks, desperately needing a touchdown the way this game is turned. For Trey Ford. Handing off. No, he fakes it. He rolls out to the right and takes off. And he slides inside the 5. Cameron Judge is there to meet him. Gets down to about the 3. A gain of 7 yards off the fake. And keeping it Trey Ford.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Cam Judge was there to meet him, Rod, or was trailing him and got help from his friends kicking him back inside, and then Cam was able to finish him off. Nice job by Moxie turning him back inside, and Trey Ford knew when to give up the fight. There was Cam Judge. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. When you're young like that, you can take hits like that and get up and smile.
This could be the last play of the quarter now. It is a second and goal. Elks can only afford to think about a touchdown at this stage. Handing off to Brown, and he's met by a red and white wall. That first yard, he was sailing through, but then suddenly came to a stop and still not in the end zone. And zeros on the clock time-wise in this third quarter, as it looks like the final 15 will begin with a huge play here for the Edmonton Elks, as they'll have a third and goal. Kevin Brown, great day on the ground, but he is denied his second touchdown emphatically up front by Calgary. Look at the numbers through 3 quarters with the Elks knocking on the door to start the fourth. But Matty, in that third quarter, 2 interceptions thrown by Trey Ford and led to a couple more field goals by Calgary.
Yeah, Brent Munson, defense coordinator for Calgary Stampeders, really got his defense locked in on how to defend this talented athletic quarterback, and they're forcing him into situations where they're pressuring him and knowing where he's going with the football. And it's like they've done their homework and doing a really nice job on the back end of capitalizing on it. And 10 yards in that third quarter go along with 11 he had in the first half. Is not going to be able to get it done consistently, but with a big pass interference call by the Calgary Stampeders defense, it's got Edmonton knocking on the door here, see if they can't get back in this football game.
And you see Taylor Cornelius is in. He had a short yardage touchdown Monday in the Labor Day game at McMahon Stadium. He was their starting quarterback for much of the season at 7 starts, but in a very critical role at this point to see if they can get a touchdown. Cornelius dives over, he most certainly does. With that tall frame, no problem at all as he reaches over, and Edmonton gets a little bit closer, thanks in large part to a 50-yard pass interference penalty that got them down there.
Take it any way you can get it right Edmonton made some mistakes in the first half, helped out the Stamps, and, you know, tit for tat right here. Edmonton capitalizing on a Calgary mistake and gets them right back here within striking distance.
So the point after try coming up from Dean Faithful. 5 plays, 70 yards, and a 50-yard penalty is saying chipping in on that one. And now they are going to go for 2, down 10. See if they can make it a 1-score game, reduce it to an 8-point
Manny Arsenault is not happy with the sidelines and what's going on here. And he's upset that they don't have the right personnel out there. That's a tough way to burn it. Hey, timeout there. 2-point converse. These situations to be looked after coaching-wise and player-wise and knowing what's going on out there at all times. And this happens. Manny Arsenault is not happy. He's a veteran guy out there calling for the personnel, and he knows that something's wrong and amiss, and they're not going to have a chance to be able to execute the play properly without the right personnel. And here comes Montblanc into the ball game late. Not saying it was his fault. I'm just saying that there was some misunderstanding going on with personnel. It's not the first time we've seen that here in this football game in the Edmonton Elks or with this football team in this stadium this year.
Vincent Forbes-Montblanc, the one coming in. So now they'll get the 2-point try to see if they can knock it down to a 1-score game. It's Ford back in. And they blow the whistle with the snap of the football with the Stampeder defense ready to charge hard.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's where I want my quarterback if I'm in the Edmonton Elks. They've got a pretty good beat on him when they get in these situations where he's going to be 7 yards and climbing the pocket 5 yards. They're collapsing it. They're bringing people, and they're getting to him. And I really think you got to move the pocket a little bit with this kid. Give him a chance on the edge.
Procedure, Edmonton, number 68. It's a 5-yard penalty. We'll repeat the card.
So, you know, a 2-point convert try, and that doesn't exactly help to go back 5 yards. Now back.
Foucault was, caught there and moving a little early.
The left guard, David Foucault.
This is not. I don't like the chances of 2-point convert being successful.
Please reset the clock to 14:27.
Chances certainly go down when it's pushed back to
Al,
the 8.
Am I on a goal?
Wow, this is a calamity right now. 2 points will make it all go away.
Certainly make it more interesting.
8-point game.
Get it down to an 8-point game. Or will it just stay at 10? Here we go. Get the play off. Pressure's coming. End zone look. No. Knocked away. Good coverage there by Kobe Williams on that play as they are denied the extra 2.
Quick slant. Ball's got to be out in a hurry as it is. Kobe Williams is all over it. He's like, I got this all day. This is what we do. There's a touchdown. That's nicely done on 3rd and goal. It's just tough sledding in there. We know that. And then here, pressure again. You know right where he's going to be. You know what the routes they're running. They're running quick slants 24/7. Always in his face. Williams is all over the receiver.
Intended for Gavin Cobb, so that 2-point try took a timeout, a penalty, 5 yards, and then an incompletion.
Doesn't make any sense to me as a receiver. Timing is the issue. You run up there and basically tag Williams, say, hey, you're it, and cut across his face. And it's easy pass for him to defend. You got to make that quicker. And Trey's got to get the ball out quick in order to be successful there. You can't just run up to the guy 7-8 yards off of you, tag him, say, hey, I'm going across your face. He's going to cover that every time.
A little discussion with Chris Jones now and Justin McInnes. And there is a challenge coming up here. You saw as Micah Awe was
Edmonton is challenging the previous play for pass interference. The play will be reviewed.
Well, so PI is the thing that's being challenged now. I was wondering, too, with Awe coming in on Ford.
So this 2-point convert calamity extends itself with the review. So he's number 2 receiver right here. Well, he's just going to run down here, tag him basically, and come across his face. And then Kobe Williams is going to cover him. Now Edmonton's trying to get interference. And that's bad offensive football, and that's good defense as far as I'm concerned. You can't do that.
Tight coverage in on Gavin Cobb by Kobe Williams, and it's being challenged.
It's like the football guys in this two-point play just said, no, let's move on.
This is the two-point play that just won't end right now. This
is a bad route. And Gavin will learn from that and get better. More sense of an urgency, quicker. Ball's got to be thrown better, too.
There's mention of interest. If they could get the two, they could make it into a one-score game, just be a touchdown behind. But as it stands at 10, here's the decision by the command center.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Edmonton will be charged a timeout.
Put that to bed.
So it stays 23-13. Calgary looking to sweep the two games, Labor Day and then the rematch. And don't forget, they lost. Well, they've lost both timeouts, haven't they? They took a timeout before, and then they took the challenge.
See ya.
So timeout, penalty, incompletion, a challenge that failed, all surrounding that two-point try. And they don't get the two, and they kick it away. Down by 10. Tommy Lee Lewis up to the 30. Josiah Shakel to make sure he got no further. So on comes Jake Maier again, and still a two-score game. And Maier 19 of 23 for 199, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Yeah, just putting together a really solid football game. First 30 minutes was really impressive, and that third quarter when he was on the football field, he made it happen. Just seems like we hadn't seen him for a while. See if the Ferrari's cooled off.
The Ferrari, you're really sticking with this, aren't you?
I'm all over it, man.
Yeah.
Guy's silky smooth, like it. Horse's emblem, I think it all fits.
First and 10, Calgary 31. Michel again with Luchez Purifoy right on him. And it's up to about the 35.
See the timing of that play? That quick slant, how quick the ball was out? That's what I'm talking about. It needs to happen on the other side for the Edmonton Elks in those situations. Just not seeing it.
A gain of 7, second down and short coming up. Four receivers to the right. Looking over there now. That is complete to Colton Hunchak. Gets the first down just barely before Purifoy comes in and pushes him back.
I like the play call and the distraction. A little fake to the opposite side of the football field, like a little pitch. Oh yeah, we're gonna a little run over here, sling it over there. Get a hat and a hat. Hunchak hopefully moves the sticks.
He did. He did. Gets the first down just far enough to get it up to the
first
42.
First catch of the season
for Colton Hunchak out of York University. Faking that one to Michel, and Maier keeps it.
No, that's big.
Tommy Stevens in there. The normally short yardage comeback. Excuse me, the backup quarterback who picks up 3 and certainly known for his running ability.
Yeah, Stevens giving Edmonton Elk defender. Said, "Nah, I'm not Jake Maier. I'm 6 inches taller and 50 pounds heavier. You be bringing that weak stuff on me." Yeah, I like it. Labor Day class rematch.
There you go, second and 7. Maier back in. Calgary 45. 10-point game. Stamps have been in control for much of it. And a deep look here. Down the middle for Begelton. No. Scott Hutter was there.
He'd been burnt once already in the first half on a Begelton touchdown. Little post pattern. Got crept his nose up a little too close to the line of scrimmage. And here you're going to watch Begelton. He's going to run another post. And Hutter's going to cut right underneath it. Center field's turn, relocates the ball. It's a beautiful play. that's a really nice play, big-time play by Scott Hutter.
Cody Grace on to punt it again for C.J. Sims, who's coming in. Charges in for this one after a punt at 40. At the 25, he takes it. And good tackling downfield. Bailey Devine Scott on the special teams tackle. Looking deep for Begelton again. Hutter says no. Gets that left hand up and knocks it away. Back on Monday, Trey Ford threw for 137 and a touchdown, ran for 135. They need some of that magic now here in this fourth quarter to come back against Calgary, Matty.
You got to compete, and you got to find a way. And you play the game to learn the game, play to win. Trey Ford's all about that. I think he's got that in him. And he's just got to continue to compete and keep pushing it down the football field and improve on those numbers.
Yeah, they're the numbers that really stand out. Only 21 yards passing, intercepted twice in this second half. He has time. He throws a short one, and that is in the direction of Gavin Cobb.
You know, I talked to Chris Jones and about Trey Ford and why it took him so long to get to the front of the line to be the Elks quarterback. And he said, and I'll try to make this as brief as possible, but it was a really good conversation. He said many things were involved, and he says certainly in preseason when Trey's in there, he was trying to be a pocket passer. And he's not a pocket passer right now. He's an athlete that's trying to learn the position. And so he was kind of stacked away, and he says Cornelius was spinning it during training camp, and that's why he got the job. But other factors are involved as well, but God, they need more of this, and certainly Trey's trying to figure out on the fly against his arch rivals.
Kevin Brown at 136 before that carry gets 8 more, so Brown's had a big day on the ground, but his team is still trailing.
Yeah, you can keep pounding it here. You got plenty of time. You can keep that running game involved, and I think they have to because of the way that Brent Monson's defense and the Calgary Stampeders are defending Trey Ford. It's been magical so far.
Up to the 45 and a first down. Ford and Edmonton. Deep ball now. Wide open receiver. It's caught. Had to wait for it. Geno Lewis does bring it down. And the biggest play through the air for Edmonton, if you discount that penalty before, 33 yards Ford to Geno Lewis.
Yeah, Geno Lewis is right here, and he's going to give it to him. He's going to take it away, and he's going over the top, and they're bringing pressure off the edge. There it is, little out loop, and the deep defender jumps it, and Trey Ford puts it out there. Hey, they're professional athletes out there trading blows, and Trey Ford hung in there and threw it out there. Big-time play to Geno Lewis.
They're down 10 points. They're on the move now. Approaching the 30 of Calgary. Brown in the backfield, still for Ford at a shotgun, faking the handoff. And he still has lots of time. A deep look. End zone! Touchdown, Edmonton! Just like that. 32 yards, Ford to Dylan Mitchell. And here come the Elks.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. That's competing right there, Trey Ford. Way to learn on the fly. I love it. Across the league, watching these young quarterbacks figure out on the fly. He looks right, and he comes back left. A little seam route, got in between everybody. That's Dylan Mitchell for an easy touchdown, pitch and catch. Trey Ford, first of all, had tremendous time and ability to look off the defense to his right and then find Dylan Mitchell to his left, wide open on a seam route.
So here's Faithful for a very important point after. 32 yards away to make it a 3-point game, but no, it's a 4-point game still. He missed the extra point. So still outside a field goal for the Elks, but they'll choose to emphasize the positive for a moment here too. Ford had time. He had a receiver. They've got a touchdown, and they're closer, albeit 4 points away.
Dylan Mitchell's a beneficiary for some good teammates doing a nice job. You watch Gavin Cobb. He's going to run a corner here. That's going to take 28. Taylor out of the picture. You're going to run a dig route right across here, and the two receivers going to go right down the football field on a seam route, wide open. Watch how Gavin takes the defender with him. Gavin gives it to him. Says, "Follow me." frees up Dylan Mitchell for an easy seam route. That's well executed, well designed play by the Edmonton Elks offense.
4 plays, 78 yards, including passes of 33 and 32 yards. So Calgary football getting close now. Could have been 3, missed extra points, so it's 2. And Trey Ford before the touchdown, less than 21 yards passing, 2 picked off after the touchdown, 70 yards.
2 things on this drive here. They beat blitz. They pound the run continually. They beat the blitz over the top with Geno Lewis on a nice play there. Big chunk of change. And this here is great design and well executed. And then to kind of slow their mojo a little bit, miss the extra point. But no doubt, 6 points definitely needed by the Elks.
From the Calgary 35, momentum Edmonton. They had trailed by 16. They trail by 4 now. Jake Maier. He's chucking it deep for Begelton too far. And a couple of Elks there along with him, including number 24, Darius Bratton. So second down coming up.
And Reggie just trying to push it deep again. He's on that post pattern, and Scott Hutter is there, along with teammate Bratton, Darius Bratton. He's in a trail, and Hutter's over the top. Basically double coverage, winging a prayer for the Ferrari right there.
Crowded Commonwealth. Haven't had a lot to cheer for, but they're picking it up right now, recognizing how important this second down is for that Edmonton Elks defense.
Good sound here. The stadium, to hear this crowd so loud.
Maier with time. Right side. No. Crowd picks up again. Loving that because Calgary's going to have to punt it away.
And I guarantee you, Rod, from being there on the field in those situations, 8:07 o'clock, fourth quarter, your team's up by 4. Those 2 passes will haunt Jake Maier. Win or lose, this is when you got to step up and squash the momentum and compete and push it right back in their face, and he wasn't able to get it done right there.
Ends up being the 2nd and 2 and out for the Stampeders. The punt from Cody Gray. $55-yard punt. The return up to the 30. Want to be a cameraman? This is what Jason Nelson got a look of. Coming right in at you. Right into your living room. We're wrapping up week 14 here in this triple-header day. CFL and TSN will continue next week. Back-to-back double-headers. Week 15 gets underway Friday. The Argos and Alouettes again. Toronto with a big win today at home, followed by the Elks and the Rough Riders. TSN, your home for the CFL, of course. Week 15 all laid out. Jason Nelson. You know, hanging in there. Way to go, Jason. Making sure he gets the shot. That football heading his way. And we have seen some of our very talented camera operators, yes, take one for the team, so to speak. And that happened in Ottawa a couple of weeks ago. Blitz coming. Ford dumps it off. He gets it to Brown, who was taken down a few yards after that. And that
Heat
first
in the
down
kitchen
play.
right here, Rod. They're running a screen, and it just wasn't. The timing was thrown off by the pressure of the Calgary Stampeders, bringing it off the edge, right up the middle, little twist game with Adeyemi Berglund. Judge comes in late, and it kind of hurts himself on an attempted tackle.
As he walks off on his own, but slowly, holding his neck, and helmet off, and training staff beside him for Cameron Judge.
Yeah, he took a shrapnel friendly fire from Dozier. Brandon Dozier, his teammate, spent his neck right back. And oh man, he's not happy. He knows something ain't right. Let's just pray that it is.
A lot of discomfort heading to the tent for Cameron Judge. 4 tackles in this game. Edmonton ball. Down 4. Heat's coming. Brandon Dozier chasing down Ford. Desperately gets it away and completes it to Lewis. Midfield. Geno Lewis. Another big catch here in the second half. as this passing offense has really woken up in the fourth quarter. 25 more yards for the Edmonton Elks.
Just incredible play by Trey Ford. Pushing back, making it happen. All kinds of athletes chasing him. And he spots Geno Lewis for 25 big yards. Here with 6:22 left on the clock in the fourth quarter, trailing by 4. That's just magical.
And a different case of how the running ability of Trey Ford can help him, throwing off the run. Big completion to Lewis there, to the Calgary 50. Plenty of time as they drop back. Only sending 3, so he takes off. And he avoids a big hit, too, sliding down inside the 40, but, well, didn't exactly avoid it. It looked like Ford is hurt again, slow to get up, but 11 more yards for Trey Ford on the ground.
That'll leave a mark right there. Holloway coming right over the top of you. He gets his head out of the way. It looks like maybe a little left arm. Oh, no, it looks like a left elbow right to the side of the face mask. Take another look at it here. The way that Trey
Roughing the
Ford
passer,
reacted.
Calgary, number 57. It's 15-yard penalty,
He got plenty
first
of
down.
that. Jack his head hard to the left and hit the turf. Another look at it. Watch that left forearm. Boink. Yeah, that got him clean.
As Ford was sliding, and he did get him there, and 15 more yards on the penalty against Micah Awe.
We heard the halftime interview with Micah Awe.
He was angry.
He was not happy. He was trying to be as polite as possible, but he was not happy. And he took out his frustrations there at the wrong time on a sliding quarterback.
Automatically goes down now to the 25 of Calgary. The momentum, it swung on Monday Calgary's way. They were down 15 in the fourth quarter, came back and won. Momentum swing.
Pressure.
To Edmonton now. Yeah, the heat is coming on Ford. Running away from it for a while, but he can't get away from Mike Rose. One of those in, and so too is Gozer, and a flag comes out again now.
Is this a horse collar?
Another penalty going against the Stampeders.
The command center will see this. And I really believe that, you know, this is, it looks like it's got right underneath his right shoulder pad. You know, a little cap that goes over the top of your shoulder pad. Looks like he grabbed that, not the back of his collar. So, not sure if that's horse collar or not. But they've got some athletes out there. They've got some athletes out there chasing this guy around.
There is no infraction for a horse collar tackle on the play. It'll be second down.
Yeah, like I said, Ryan, I think Rose got right underneath the cap of the shoulder pad and pulled that down by that, and that's legal.
So no penalty against Calgary there. And that's the first sack of this game. First time either quarterback.
Yeah, to that point, Rod, Trey Ford has only been sacked 7 times in his 7 starts. That's a low percentage when playing a collision sport.
Lost yardage, though, 2nd and 18 now. Big second down, Ford with time. Deflected up and nearly intercepted. Nick Stats had a shot at it.
Wow. Faithful, see if he can get it together here, because these 3 points are huge to bring him to 1 point behind the Stampeders. And here's a look at the throw and what he's trying to fit it into a very tight window. And that's Cam Judge back out there.
Judge back in the game, and
wow, that was a quick return.
The one that deflected it up.
See that.
Alert play by Judge, nearly forcing a turnover. The Stats came in with a shot at it. So to your point, Matty, Dean Faithful to miss that extra point that would have got them within 3. If he can make this 3, he can get them within 1. Faithful.
There you go.
Through, so makes up for it with that. They're still trailing, but by the smallest of margins now. Big comeback by the Elks here in the fourth quarter. It's now a 23-22 game. Calgary barely in front, just under 5 minutes to go in the fourth.
Look at the kick in the hole. Julian's got it down. Nice hold. Well, that was like clockwork right there, like it's supposed to happen that way.
Some drama here at Commonwealth now as the Elks They'd already ended the long losing drought at home against Ottawa 2 weeks ago and would love nothing more than to make it 2 straight home wins and finally beat their dreaded rivals, the Calgary Stampeders. Not over yet. And the defense rises up. Konar coming in on carry.
Jones, that was Jones.
Tony Jones.
Playing in the middle for Niles. That's a beautiful play. Watch him mirror it right in the middle of your screen. There you go. Niles is late to the party.
Crowd fired up again. A loss of 1. Another big second down facing Jake Maier. And the Stampeders have seen their lead eroded down to a single point. At one point it was 16. Second and 11. The 39. Nearly intercepted by Ed Gainey. Knocked away. But Calgary will have to punt again.
Ed Gainey pot hanging on this one. He knows what Calgary's trying to do. Tip for tat. He knows the play. Watch him jump this curl route. Jake Maier's had to dump down in this situation several times. Little curl route. Ed Gainey's going to jump it. Well, he knew what they were doing. He passed it off to the deep outside to the third defender who had the rail shot, and Gainey was able to jump that curl and get his left hand across the face of the receiver.
Second straight 2 and out for the Stamps. Timely defense for the Elks. 50-yard punt. C.J. Sims picks it up. And it gets it across the 30, where he is pushed out. So Geno Lewis, big part of this comeback so far.
Yeah, definitely, Rod. And here's what I can tell you. Geno Lewis had a little bit to make up for because you recall when Chris Jones had to use that timeout on the 2 points. Geno Lewis, after the touchdown, had run into the locker room for an equipment reason. And that's why they didn't have enough receivers on the field, and that timeout had to be used. He then came out, got back onto the field, but it was a tough mistake and the beginning of a tough sequence for the Elks. While Lewis has played his part here in making up for that and bringing his team back within striking distance here late in the fourth quarter.
Wow, Ryan Rishaug, thank you for that. So, yeah, costly for the Elks, but yes,
yeah, I mean,
Lewis has had a couple of big plays since.
Good on Ryan for figuring all that out, you know, because Manny Arsenault was livid because they didn't have the right personnel out there, and that's the reason why.
Trade for it. The fake, the throw, a completion, and a first down for Edmonton, trailing by a point, 3.5 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Ford's numbers now, Matty, up to 121 in passing.
Okay. You know, that's a good quarter, right? But for a football game and the way this game's played out, they'll take that all day long because those passing yards have come at the right time here late in the fourth quarter and put his team back in the mix.
Pickup of 13 on that one, and the warning is coming up, getting down to 3 minutes. First down, up at their 24. Nearly, well, knocked down by Moxie. Would have had a shot at it there, too.
Reading his mail.
Jumping that route. The third quarter for Trey Ford saw him throw 2 interceptions. They got some momentum now, but avoiding a pick there. Tight game. Last week at McMahon, well, last Monday on Labor Day, heading into the fourth quarter, Jake Maier and the Stamps were down 15 points. Maier sparking a comeback with a touchdown run. Tommy Stevens had one. And then this one to Luther Hakunavanu, leading to this. Mills, Matty, for the go-ahead touchdown as the Stampeders won on Labor Day.
And just a thrilling comeback, another Labor Day classic. And now can Trey Ford come back and recreate that magic for his team?
With 5 of 14 in second down conversions, and there's one to Manny Arsenault. Hadn't called his name. 141st straight game that he's been in that he's had at least a catch.
Yeah, I just don't know if you're going to get the ball back here. History would say, yeah, you might. Third and a yard and a half. Here comes Tanner.
Yeah, Tanner Green coming on and Josiah St. John. Extra offensive lineman, and Trey Ford does stay in. It is a 3rd and 1. And 2:42 on the clock.
Yeah, I guess you want to take it in your own hands and let's go do it now.
Just another critical play coming up here for the Edmonton Elks in this Labor Day rematch. 1-point game.
He has it.
He faked it. He kept it. He gets the first down. Trey Ford still on the move. Gets it up near midfield. They rely on the legs of Ford again. That's a big payoff. A gain of 24 yards.
Well, they got the Elks fans off their seats and clapping. Everybody just breaks it down. Alway caught too far inside. Roberson caught too far inside.
He has it.
And that is their main responsibility, is not let that guy get out and around like he did right there. He's just disgusting.
Dave Dickinson sees his team, well, with a big lead as mentioned in the fourth quarter, and it's all going Edmonton's way now. Trey Ford in a big first down run into the Stampeder zone to the 53, and Muhammad getting some attention. To the West standings, we had earlier games in this triple header, one in the East and then later on Winnipeg, big win, revenge win over the Saskatchewan Roughriders, who fall to 6-6 in the Banjo Bowl. Winnipeg goes to 10-3, 4 points up on the BC Lions.
That's not bad.
No, and then you got Calgary at 4 wins, seeing Hamilton get to 5 wins. Now the Stampeders, you know, they got Saskatchewan in their sights if they could pick up a win, but Edmonton has something else to say here, don't they?
You got to think contained here, right? You just can't let two pull it, get out and around. And Dave Dickinson was just infuriated, disgusted. Justifiably so. You think you know until you play it. And then it's like, oh man, that's a little bit different. It's not what we were expecting. I think you might learn that from last week when he rushed for 135 yards against you.
They certainly got quite a taste of his rushing last week when he had 135. The record for Canadian quarterbacks in a single game. Here we go, first down across midfield. It is caught. Gino Lewis has it. He picks up a few more. Set up a second and short.
See how this plays out here, Rod. Faithful's longest field goal made this year is 46 yards. And, you know, you gotta be thinking touchdown here if I'm Edmonton. You know, at least taking time off the clock and getting a chip shot. But, well, that's into play, just understanding where you have to get to, and that's about another 8 yards. But first of all, you got to get this.
It's at the Calgary 48. It's a 2nd and 5 now for Ford and the Elks. Trying to complete a comeback the way Calgary did it to them on Labor Day Monday. Blitz coming. Taking the handoff and running again. Ford in the ground and still 2 yards shy as he is taken down. He got 3, and a third down is coming up. And you have to think, Matty, based on what you said about Dean Faithful's range, this still might be a bit too far.
Yeah, here comes the big boys again. Tanner comes in. And you just got to be looking for this. Just had that put on you the last 2 out of 4 plays. Cameron Judge is just, he's about done with this. Got another 45 to go, Cam.
The third down gamble tonight coming up here for Edmonton. That last one had a big payoff in the legs of Ford. Here we go. Giving it to Brown, and he does not get it. Turnover on downs. Calgary football hanging on to a 1-point lead with 1.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Last time he faked to Brown and he ran around the end. This time Brown got the football, but not enough to keep the drive going.
It's just like everybody's in the box. There's all 24 people basically in this box in this short area of field here in 12-yard radius. Other than Roberson, he's kind of waiting for any type of pull. You know, they got down on the backside. Not going to get burnt with the out and around again by Trey Ford, so they're coming up the middle, and that's just great penetration by the Calgary Stampeders defense living on Edmonton's side of the football.
4th time the Elks have turned it over in this game. The Brown fumble in the first half, 2 Ford interceptions, then this on downs, Kadeem Carey. They keep it on the ground with their feature back who gets up closer to midfield, and
Yeah, you go back to that 2-point debacle and then the missed convert by Faithful, and all those points, no matter where they come and lost throughout the course of a ball game, add up, and comes down to this. Tough to swallow.
After a 7-yard pickup by Kadeem Carey. With his 2nd and 3, Calgary is 10 for 24 in second down conversions. This one, a short one at 3 yards. Carey won't get there. Swarmed by the Elks defense.
Gonna get the ball back here.
1:03 on the clock, and Calgary will have to punt.
No timeouts for Edmonton. We know how they burnt them. Yeah, just great defense. A.C. Leonard, no sir. And then the posse comes inside and out. He presses the hole. Nothing's there. He's going to try to bounce it. Oh, there's a face mask on Leonard too, right there. Whew. Scratch and claw trying to get this W.
Yeah. The Elks defense really holding strong here in the fourth quarter. 3rd straight 2-and-out for the Stampeders with Grace back.
Sorry, Rod.
And Mark Kellum, their special teams coordinator, looking on. So C.J. Sims in a 1-point game, clock ticking. 45 seconds to go. And a high end-over-end punt by Grace at the 20. Good coverage, too. Charlie Moore in there.
Boy, that special team magic we've been talking about from both ball clubs, making it happen, flying down there, knowing the importance of field position right now. And Charlie Moore gets his left arm across the shoulder pads of C.J. Sims, and he's lighting the loafers. And so that was that's like 240 pounds versus 160. We know Charlie's winning that every time.
They have at the 27. Dean Faithful's longest is 46. This is first year in the CFL. Ford standing around as they back up. He completes that 1-2 Lewis. Stampeders defense content to back up now with so little time left and a long way to go. 29 seconds on the clock, but it's just a 1-point difference. There's Faithful.
Yeah, we see what you're made of right here. You got plenty of time. About 4 plays at your fingertips here. Get Faithful in position.
To 46 yards, they'd have to get it inside the 40, you'd think. Looking at his highest range. But whatever they could do, however close they can get at this point in the game. 30 seconds to go, and they're sending everybody. And they get him out of Yemi Berglund. That blitz was coming. Stampeders sending a bunch, and Ford didn't have time to make a play. 21 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, Brent Monson just bringing the house. Yeah, just coming from depth. You can't even see him. He's in your He's not even in your picture yet. Coming in late.
Timer, please put 22 seconds on the clock. 22.
Adding a second.
Adding in everything they got almost. Now they're going to rush 3 and drop 9.
Content to rush the 3 now and getting desperate for the Elks now. Ford looking to throw it deep over the middle, trying to get it closer. We got a flag down near the spot where that ball was arriving as Muhammad raises his hands. What a big penalty this could be.
Yeah, ball's nowhere near being completed, and defender doesn't know that. And he tries to stick it in there. Ball's not close. Going to come over here long, and he's going to come across here. You're going to watch the contact, and it's
pass
clear.
Interference, Calgary, number 47. Spot of the foul, first down.
Takes a long time to develop. He's all over his back there. Easy call.
26-yard penalty, spot of the foul to the Calgary 50. Close now, very little time left. And we have a challenge flag thrown out by Dave Dickinson on that penalty call. Had the challenge left. Only 14 seconds on the clock.
And so if I'm Greg Monson, I'm playing the sticks, and I'm getting
Calgary is challenging the ruling on the previous play of defensive pass interference. The play will be reviewed.
Just saying, Rod, I wouldn't be surprised to see Greg Monson's defenders be standing at about 12 yards and jumping everything. This is play earlier. This is a 1st and 10 play. Start this drive. And Geno Lewis, Roberson's upset because he feel like he got offensive pass interference.
And then this.
And then this one here. But you can't go, well, you can call it this, you can't call it, you can't do that. It's one play at a time. Geno's so-called offensive pass interference that Trey Roberson was looking for wasn't called. This one was called. Now it's challenged. And we're just trying to get 14 seconds on the clock, see how this plays out.
If the call's overturned.
Yeah, a lot going on here.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it'd be an absolute desperation Hail Mary time for Edmonton. If this does stand, though, in 14 seconds, you could just work a short pass just to get it a bit closer for a faithful field goal, try to win the game.
Good on Dickey for having a timeout and a challenge left. So he could do this. Kept it in his pocket, use it for this opportunity, see if he can't get it.
That's the question. Was this pass interference? It's a big break for the Elks if it is.
Yeah, he's right there in your center field turns. He's leaning on him. He's leaning on pretty good here. That's all right. Now he's trying to undercut him. Then he gets up on him. Ball's not catchable.
The call was PI. Dave Dickinson, no point in keeping that challenge flag in the pocket at this point. 14 seconds to go.
He never touched it.
Nick Lewis down there trying to figure this one out.
He threw a PI call. He didn't call a legal contact. He threw a PI call because he threw it after the play.
Play being called.
I watched the ball skip off the ground 10 yards in front of the receiver, and then I see him throw the flag.
That's the thing now. They called it PI. Do they see enough in the command center to overturn it, or does it stand? Here's the decision.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Calgary will be charged with timeout.
So it stands. The ball is at the Calgary 50, 14 seconds on the clock, and Edmonton has a chance. They have a chance to run a play to get a little closer to the range for Dean Faithful.
I figure about 10, 12 yards, get him in range. Calgary knows that, so I look for them to be sitting on these routes that Edmonton's about to run. And see what magic we got left in the tank for Trey Ford.
It'd be a 57-yard try now, well beyond the apparent range of Faithful. See what they do. Can they get it closer? Yes, they do. That's caught. Wow. That's taken down by Geno Lewis for a 15-yard gain, and they are most definitely in the range for Dean Faithful to come on and try to complete the comeback for Edmonton.
Yeah, really nice route. Clear everybody with 3. Geno comes underneath with a kind of an outside release and comes underneath the 2 receivers on the inside, buys himself a little weight, uses his catch radius, his big mitts, and pulls down the biggest catch of the night.
What a spot for redemption for Dean Faithful. Had the missed extra point earlier on in this quarter. But this one will be spotted just beyond the 40, about the 42 by Jake Julian for Faithful. A global player from England in his first year in the CFL to complete the comeback. And there is the matter of the point if there's a miss, but here we go. It's up. It's through. The Edmonton Elks win. And the faithful here at Commonwealth are rewarded as Faithful himself is by his teammates. Last week on Labor Day Monday, it was the Stampeders with the big comeback. This time, it's the Elks' turn. 2 wins in a row in a place where they had not won for such a long time.
Simply magical, Rod. All he needs is a dart. And it just reminds me so much of the Replacements, man. This is just amazing. Just nails it. Never in question. That's beautiful. Way to do your job, young man.
That must feel so good for Dean Faithful. And all of the Elks got a little winning streak going on at home now. The reaction from Trey Ford. It's up. And it's good. The celebration continues here at Commonwealth Stadium. Comeback win for Trey Ford, who's standing by with Ryan.
Well, Trey, what a finish to this football game. You know, your feet did a lot of good work early on, but it was your arm that really propelled the team back into it. How did you feel in that second half?
Definitely a lot better. I thought they schemed up well. They got us in a lot of 2nd and 9 and dropped 9 in coverage. And I mean, 2nd and long is not high percentage for a quarterback, and then adding the extra defender is definitely not going to help either. So they did a good job early. I thought second half we stayed away from a lot of 2nd and longs. I thought we did a lot more throwing on 1st down as well, which I don't think they were really anticipating because we were mostly run on 1st down. But I mean, shoot, I felt like a terrible person to let my team down early on. But it was just nice to lead them back to this dub. And I mean, big shout out to the defense. They did a stellar job.
I can imagine, because there was a lot of running early in the game. Then they went to the passing game and you threw a couple of picks. That has to be tough to pull yourself out of that feeling to do what you did here.
Yeah, I mean, those were definitely tough interceptions to throw. Obviously would have liked to not have thrown them, but there were some things on the play that happened, not on the same page. A little bit of a miscommunication, but I mean, 2 interceptions and a win, I'll take it. So,
thanks, Trey. Appreciate it. Congrats on the win.
No problem. Thank you.
Oh, it's been a long time coming for Edmonton, Matty. They must be savoring this.
Yeah, and I tell you, Rod, it's just a pleasure to watch young quarterbacks across the Canadian Football League. And we saw 2 of them here, in Jake Mayer and Trey Ford, figuring it out on the fly. It's a very difficult game to master and to play at a high level consistently, and watching these young talented athletes go at it has been a pleasure, and it's worth the price of admission. I can tell you that that young man's got a bright future, as does Jake Mayer, and Ford versus Ferrari lives on. What a series, back to back, and that just goes in the record books as one of those games is you won't soon forget.
Big game for Kevin Brown, too, who got it started, but wasn't looking good for a while when they were down 16. But the Edmonton Elks found a way in the 4th quarter, really turning the tables on Jake Mayer and the Calgary Stampeders in that one. So the Elks have now won 3 of their last 4 games and back-to-back games here at Commonwealth Stadium. What a day it's been on this Super Saturday and the triple header in the CFL on TSN. We hope you enjoyed it. The Edmonton Elks certainly do. Thanks for watching. SportsCenter's next with Julia Teixeira and Adam Scully. So long, everyone.
Canada, welcome inside SportsCenter. Adam Scully alongside Julia Teixeira. What a comeback by the Edmonton Elks. We'll have much more post-game reaction a little later in the show. Very busy Saturday in the world of sports. That CFL triple header. The Blue Jays continuing their postseason push. The U.S. Open Women's Open final. What a thrilling final that was. But let's start with the Riders and the Bombers in the Banjo Bowl.
Yeah, how could we not? The Banjo Bowl is one of the best days of the year in Winnipeg. I feel like we kind of dropped the ball, though, because I feel like the SportsCenter sting would sound really good on the banjo.
Okay.
Anyways, it's the 19th edition of the Banjo Bowl. Winnipeg coming off an overtime loss to Saskatchewan in the Labor Day Classic, but the Bombers have won the last 3 Banjo Bowls. There's the banjo right there. Slash back to that Labor Day game. Pete Robertson headbutted Zach Claros. Yep, you can't do that. Robertson now suspended for this game, but the Riders still have to deal with the back-to-back MOP.
Very much use him today. 2nd and 4, Collaros under pressure, throws it ahead. What a play by Zach. Fight Brady Oliveira down to the 5. End zone touchdown, Winnipeg. A little magic from Collaros, and Oliveira finishes the job.
An incredible play from Claros to get the ball to Brady Oliveira. Takes it all the way in for the score. Bombers up 14-3 early. And they got the banjos going. Why not? Winnipeg electric on this day. Next Winnipeg possession, Claros rolls out and finds Kenny Lawler, who fights through some tackles and stretches for the end zone. Originally rolled down, it was overturned to a touchdown upon review. Bombers go up 21-3. Now, 21-6, Claros drops back and finds Dalton Schoen, open in the end zone for his third passing TD. Collaros is 3-0 in his career in the Banjo Bowl. Still in the first half, Collaros airs it out to Schoen for another TD. Winnipeg scored a touchdown in each of their first 5 possessions. They're looking fairly unstoppable right now. And they had a chance to go 6 for 6 late in the half. Collaros Schoen once again. Collaros threw for 285 yards and 5 touchdowns in the first half alone. And they cruise from here. The Bombers match the largest margin of victory in Banjo Bowl history. They win by 45 points. 51-6 the final.
We all know we didn't play our best game last weekend. You know, I was really proud of Zach stepped up in the locker room after that game and really said some powerful stuff and really fired us all up. I thought we came out and we responded this week in practice, and then it showed today.
Yeah, can you share what he might have said to your club?
I'll keep that internally with the team, but just know that it was special because Zach's the kind of guy, he's a great leader, but he's not always super outspoken like that, so you know when he's speaking up, it's time to listen.
Was this a redemption game, a payback game for last week, or still felt personal?
You know, it is a rivalry. I think it's just what you're supposed to do for the Banjo Bowl. You know, I think we're supposed to win that game. Our fans were unbelievable. The atmosphere was, you know, second to none.
What a crowd in Winnipeg, and what a beatdown in the Banjo Bowl. It's tied for the largest point differential in Banjo Bowl history. This dates back to the inaugural edition back in 2004. The last time there was a 45-point difference in the Banjo Bowl was back in 2009. The Riders won that one 55-10.
Okay, over in the East, the Argos hosting the Alouettes as they look for their 4th straight victory. Now, with a win, Toronto can become the first team this season to clinch a playoff berth. They would also improve to 10-1, which would match their best start in club history set back in 1996. First quarter, already 7-0 Argos. Chandler Worthy back to receive the kickoff. But he fumbles at his own 24-yard line. Jack Cassar recovers the Argos special teams coming up big early. Ensuing drive. A.J. Ouellette finds a hole, takes the handoff, 15 yards for a touchdown. One of his 2 on the day. Ouellette spoke with our Kenzie Lalonde at the break, and he was eager to get to the locker room.
Back in the end zone immediately.
AJ, we're really seeing the versatility of the offense. We saw Chad Kelly go for some deep balls, and then you went to work, 52 yards. What does it take for you to step up and play this kind of game?
I mean, shout out to the defense. They're killing it. Special teams are killing it as well. Offense, we just got to do better. Appreciate it.
Okay, then. Third quarter, Argos up 13. Chad Kelly finds Curly Gittins Jr. downfield for a gain of a big 40. Kelly has thrown for 200-plus yards in 4 straight games. Couple plays later, Kelly keeps it himself, punches it in for the score. Kelly's 8th rushing TD this season, the most in the CFL among any position. The Argos clinch a playoff berth in just week 14. These teams meet again next week. Argos take this one big time.
We get to see them again next week. What do you like most about back-to-back games?
They're quick, and you know, you gotta put in a little bit more time in the film room because you never know what they're gonna do. So you know, I look forward to it.
Thank you, Chad. Congratulations.
Go Argos.
I feel like a gut punch, you know, and get punched in the gut. We didn't get knocked out. You got punched in the gut. You're down. You got to rebound and come right back, and that'll be our focus this week, is to learn from our film and get better quickly. The best part is we get to play them again.
All right, here's a look at the current CFL standings. Both Winnipeg and Toronto clinching a playoff spot with their wins at 10-1. This year's Argos are tied for the best all-time start in franchise history. Like I mentioned, back in '96, where they won the Grey Cup. The Argos have 7 games left this season. The all-time record for wins in a CFL season is 16, set by Edmonton back in 1989. For much more, let's go to Kate Burness.
Alongside Dave Naylor, Jim Barker, Milt Stegall, and 2 lopsided victories for the Toronto Argonauts and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on Super Saturday. Question is, which one was a bigger statement game for you, Dave?
I got to say the Winnipeg Blue Bombers were the bigger statement game. Just, I mean, 6 drives, 6 touchdowns in the first half. I mean, they completely blew the Saskatchewan Roughriders away. And look, I know Winnipeg has got 2 losses on the season. They won, 3, 1 to Ottawa. Then, of course, they've got the one to BC and the one to Saskatchewan. I think the BC and Saskatchewan ones, we can kind of forget about them because they've erased them with definitive replies. I mean, it's only a week ago they lose in overtime to this team. They chucking the ball deep. They got Brady Oliveira running it. They had no defense for him, whether it was early in the game or late in the game. Dalton Schoen comes up with 3 touchdowns. This was more like an exhibition of football than it was a competitive game, Jim.
Well, again, I think it was a very impressive win. They came off a game they didn't win, which, again, is impressive. Where the Argonaut win, to me, was impressive because they've distanced themselves now.
Yep.
They've put themselves in position that with a win this week, okay, that'll give them 11 wins and leave Montreal at 6 because they play Montreal back-to-back. So I think this is a game that puts them in position for the Grey Cup in a much stronger position. And so I think it was a huge win for them. They were efficient. They did things offensively they needed to do, but defensively they stepped up. They had been slacking a little bit on defense, but they stepped up defensively and made plays. So, again, to me, I thought the Argonaut win was huge for that organization and just in terms of moving them forward toward the Grey Cup.
Both of these wins show that these two teams are the class of the league. Of course, Winnipeg, class of the West. Toronto, class of the East. But I'm going to say it was more impactful for the Blue Bombers because I say that because Toronto last week, who did they play? Hamilton. Last week, Winnipeg lost to Saskatchewan and came back and mollywopped them. So that's why it was so impactful. They wanted to show that that was just a fluke. That was just a one-off. It really shouldn't have happened. It did, but now we're going to show you that we are the top. So, as I mentioned, both of them, but Winnipeg definitely was more impactful than what happened in Toronto.
You know, you look forward to that game on the 29th, which will be the first game meeting of the season between the Bombers and the Argos. You know Winnipeg's going to be motivated for that game because they've been hearing all season about how their time has passed and Toronto's now, you know, the team, the favorite with the best record. When the Argonauts are going to have to get up for that game because emotionally, and it may not matter that much in the standings given where these teams are, but I think emotionally it's going to be a huge game for both
There's
sides.
only one person who said their time has passed, and he's sitting right here. That's the only person I've ever heard say their time is passed.
I said they were going to win the Grey Cup, but they are old. They are old. It's fast.
Stiegel Drive.
Yeah, now Dalton Schoen way, as we keep saying. You know, it'll be interesting, too, because we mentioned through the broadcast, a really nice bye schedule for the Bombers coming up. The Argos bye is done for the season. As you mentioned, though, Dave, cannot wait for the 29th of September when these two teams meet. And we send it back to SportsCenter.
Thank you very much. Stampeders Elks. Calgary won the Battle of Alberta at home 35-31 on Monday, but Edmonton got out to a fast start in the rematch.
So down to the 45 of the Calgary Stampeders. Kevin Brown again on third straight carry, breaking through, and he is gone. 45-yard touchdown run. How about that start for the Edmonton
Brown scores on Edmonton's third play of the game. He had 123 yards in the first half alone. Meanwhile, Trey Ford set a new Canadian QB record with 135 rushing yards in the last matchup. The Stamps trying to avoid an encore. Second quarter on 2nd and 16. Ford looking for an opening to scramble, but Cameron Judge stays with him and then gets a little extra on the tackle attempt. Ford pulls up, then throws him down. Take another look. His teammates didn't like that one. Later, Judge gets a free lane to Ford, nails him on that throw untouched. Ford favoring his ribs afterwards, but stayed in the game. Just before halftime, Jake Mayer finds Reggie Begelton for a 10-yard touchdown. Begelton came in ranked 4th in receiving yards, gives Calgary a 17-7 halftime lead. All right. See if they hold that. Third quarter, Ford gets intercepted by Brad Muhammad. That is Ford's second interception of the season. 2 possessions later, Ford is picked off again. This time by Robertson. Another one there. He's feeling it, you can tell. Edmonton trailed by as many as 16 in the fourth, but Ford figuring it out. He goes deep to Dylan Mitchell for a 32-yard touchdown. That one would cut the deficit to 4. Makes things a little interesting, Adam. Next drive, check out the improv by Ford before completing another pass downfield to Eugene Lewis. Connects. That led to a field goal attempt.
Point if there's a miss, but here we go.
By Dean Faithful. He had missed an extra point earlier, but he did not miss that one to win the game. What a comeback for the Edmonton Elks. They win again at home. Wow. And they couldn't buy one for the longest time. That's a beauty. New on SC. Here's Ryan Rashog with Eugene Lewis.
Gino, that was a gutsy comeback from your team. What were you talking about on the sidelines when you were down all those points? How'd you maintain that belief?
Man, first of all, I just want to thank my Lord Jesus Christ, man, for the opportunity today. Honestly, man, we just had to keep grinding through. If you really look at it, this is the exact same way we lost last week. So, you know, it was just kind of just stick with it. When we were up 11 points in the fourth quarter last week, they came back and beat us by a field goal, and it was almost damn near the same thing today. But, you know what I'm saying, I'm just glad that I had the opportunity towards the end of the game to make the plays I needed to make, and, you know, hopefully we can do that a little earlier in the game.
We were talking to Trey. He said after he threw those picks, he felt awful, like he had let the team down. He rallies, and it's his arm that gets you back into it. What did you think of his resilience in that way?
I think it's beautiful, man. I just think at the end of the day, we got a lot of playmakers on this team. And if you just give us opportunities, all of us, we're going to go up and make a play at some point in time. So my thing is just, Trey stuck with it. You know what I'm saying? It was a couple times we got hit out of the game. You know, a couple of plays that didn't go our way. We got stopped on third downs. But we just stayed with it, man, and finished the game at home.
Congratulations.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
New on SC, here's Ryan Rashog and Dean Faithful.
Dean, I can only imagine the nerves it takes to stand over that ball with confidence at the end of the game. Take us through your mindset and how you felt with that winning kick on your foot.
I mean, I wasn't thinking a lot. I mean, I trained myself for these situations and just got out there with a calm mind. I was smiling beforehand on the sideline, and, you know, I got my nan's lucky horseshoe, you know, and I just knew I was going to hit it. I knew I was going to hit it, but it's not about me. That was a team performance, and I'm just proud I can help the boys get that win.
Tell me about the nan's horseshoe here. Tell me the story here.
My nan Elsie, she's passed now, but before she left, I grabbed the horseshoe off her. She had this in her house for her whole life, and it's my lucky thing I carry on the sideline wherever I go.
Well, she'd be proud after that kick. Congratulations. I know you were annoyed because we kept you out here too long. You're now the last guy to go into that locker room, so I think there's an ovation waiting for you.
Oh, I hope so. But like I said, the team should all be proud. They worked for that, and I just finished it off.
Congrats. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. Right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Cheers.
Team Faithful. What a great Saturday story, and what a celly here. Well deserved, though, man. Like, they are fired up. A win at home for the Edmonton Elks. Another one.
And he was waiting to be the last man in that lock. Oh, yeah. Pick him up.
He's waving like the queen.
Wave. I love that. Okay. Fired up.
The
Absolutely
accent, the
love that.
wave. What a beautiful thing.
That is awesome.